Yeah, that's the way that goes. What's going on, everyone? Welcome, Arvanauts, to a Tuesday stream. It is November 14th, 2017. It is just about 20 minutes after 12 p.m. Eastern, and I am Arvanelleron. I am your host, and it is time to play some Wilderland Adventures, Adventure in Middle-earth. Wilderland Adventures, officially sponsored by Cubicle 7, and I'm really excited because we have some new stuff going on today. But before we get there, I just want to remind everybody, first of all, thank you all for being here, and I want to remind everybody how to support the stream. If you haven't done so already, please make sure to tweet out the stream with !CTT. That would be great. Please let people know, especially because we have a new person today, and I'll describe that new person in just a moment. And that new person, we may want to make sure that we reach out and let people know about this new person and this person's involvement in the game. So please make sure to retweet it if you can. Please check out the Steam group with !Steam group. Please check out the YouTube with !ArvTube, where you can see past broadcasts of the stream and past broadcasts of this particular adventure. Please check out the Discord with !Discord. And if you haven't done so already, it would be lovely if you have not already done so to follow the channel. That would be really great, so you can get notifications when I go live. And if you can do so, checking out the Patreon and the subscription system. The Patreon is right below !ArvTreon, ARVTREON. Currently sitting at $3.95. Would love to get that north of 400 again. You can get cool things for the channel, but also you can get the ability to inspire the players. If we type in inspiration-who, and I will do that right now, like this, you can see this is now updated, so you can actually see the list of people. This is official as of November 1st. These are the people who are able to inspire the players to give them advantage on given roles, and we can talk about that. If you support the Patreon at the $10 level, you get an inspiration that you can use per month, and at $20 you get 2 inspirations that you can use on this campaign, which meets twice a month, or on my flagship Infinity and Beyond campaign, The Rise of Tiamat, which meets twice a month, or on the D&D with GOG, which meets over at GOG once a month. So you got at least 5 D&D sessions per month that you can use this on, and that would be lovely if you're able to support it that way. That is the Patreon. And then the last thing is, of course, the subscription system. That's that video button, which is right above the window. If you click that purple button, you can subscribe and get these cool golden so goods. Sorry, actually, for you it would be get hyped, golden hype, Arvany hype, and the higher level tiers, you get the higher level gold supports as well. But today we are doing Wilderland Adventures at 4 p.m. I will be moving over to, please do not call me, whoever this is. We will be moving over to GOG, where I'll be continuing my playthrough of Vaporum. But today I am very excited because we got a new person on the team. And so let me get rid of this. And let me get rid of, where's this picture? Let's get rid of this. And let me turn on this. There we go. Hi, everyone. Welcome. It's good to see everybody. I hope everyone is doing well, and I hope you guys are looking forward to fun times with Wilderland Adventures. Special thanks, by the way, to Cubicle 7, which is officially sponsoring this campaign. And I do want to announce that in honor of the new person who is on board, Cubicle 7 has done something to celebrate that occasion, and I will describe what that is in just a minute. But thanks, everybody, for being here, and I hope you are looking forward to awesome times with the continuation of Wilderland Adventures, Episode 2, which is called Of Leaves and Stewed Hobbit. So with that said, I'm going to unmute myself so that now they're able to hear that we're about to get started, and then I will unmute them, and then I will move over to them. Dun, 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 dun. There they are. The entire crew is here, and you might see, chat, that there is a new person who has joined the mix as well. So we have a full party, a full team again, which is really cool. And I'm going to introduce all of them in turn and let them talk a little bit about themselves. But I will, as always, start with the gentleman right below me, who is got the light shining off the map behind him, as per usual. So it's a nice, shiny day, I guess, in the West Coast. And that is our good friend, Trendane. Hi, Tren. How are you? How's life in the universe?
What do you want? I'm watching YouTube. If you're referring to this map, this is not the map for this game. Just so we're clear.
Right.
This
Different.
is Forgotten Realms.
Totally different.
This is Everwinter's up there. Anyway, what was your question? How am I? I am doing tired. I'm very doing tired.
I am doing tired.
I have lost the ability to sprechen Sie. I'm sure that's perfect German, and Terry had no clue that I even had an American accent in any of that.
No, that was totally legit.
See, I told you. So, back to your question. Sorry, you're not over there. You're right there. I keep forgetting we're linear on this show.
Different overlay, yes.
Yeah, we're not linear across the top that way with you over there and there. So I'm.
Oh, I'm frozen. Oh, there we go. Okay, your internet clicked for just a minute. Go ahead. You literally stopped at "I'm" and are like, "What? Who are you?"
Me. I covered everything during the time that you people blinked. So no, but I'm Trent Sparks. I'm a professional voice actor.
Oh, we're gonna lose him quite a bit.
And a robot.
And a robot.
And a robar. No, you're robar.
I'm the robot.
Yeah. So voice actor, narrator, playing Tawny Bear, the Hearthminder person thing. And I'm not looking at there. Okay. Now I know that yes, it actually is Robar who is right down there. So I will toss it to Will, I guess.
Toss it down to Will. Hi, Will. How's life? Welcome to the new part of Canada. You're yet again, and as Will's magical mystery tour, which involves getting to every province in Canada that he can possibly go to, like British Columbia next, and then.
I like travel so much, and I never want to leave my house ever. I'm like the most unwilling traveler. But yeah, I'm in jolly old Toronto at the moment. It's really nice here. And I'm excited to be back today with full cast and crew. Great to have another player today, so I'm excited. Yes, it's Clash and Common Chat. As mentioned, my name is Will. I'm a D&D sex icon. I run the kind of roleplay channel and stuff like that, and I'm here today to play Robar Staunton, the Dunedain Ranger, who is feeling pretty worse for wear after being clobbered by several goblins in and around the face. So, that's Robar. He's a handsome fella. If it weren't for all of his moodiness, he is the edgelord of the group.
Yes,
it's true.
If he were not Liam Neeson with a bunch of scrapes and scratches, he would be.
Yeah, I think he's even grumpier than Liam Neeson. Actually.
He has a particular set of skills.
That's true. That's true.
Which I'm proficient in.
Skills that allow him to be moody. Well, it is always a pleasure to have Will on board with us. Thank you as always, Will. And moving right along, we have the bundled up and still cheery, although not fully healthy, Terry Tunes. Hi, Terry. How are you? Are you going to survive the session? Do you think you'll be? Okay?
Hi. Probably not. I mean, I almost died last round already, so.
Okay.
Only the stars will tell.
Okay.
Whether or not I will live. No, I'm all things considered pretty all right. Just have a very nasty cold, and I guess I have to talk about me right now, right?
Yes, that would be nice.
So I am Tari Toons. I am like an artist type of person on the internet. I do comics and cartoons and stuff. Also here on this channel, every other Tuesday where we are not gaming, I do. Choose your own adventure books like Fighting Fantasy and stuff with Arv up there, where he plays with you guys while I draw all the scenes that are happening and draw the characters, which is a whole lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
You guys should absolutely check out. And I am playing Inge, daughter of Ida. She is a dwarf of the Erebor and the stonemason who gave up, who left her home so quickly after regaining it because she did not feel home there. So she went back to the road. And yeah, like I mentioned, she heroically almost died last round.
Yep. She is still unconscious but stable. So she spent the last few weeks unconscious, so I'm sure she's fine.
Yeah.
But I look forward to it. Yeah, Inga's a bit quiet. She's okay on my end, but I guess Terry, you might come up volume-wise, might come up a little bit, maybe a touch. But yes, it is.
Hello.
There you go. Very nice. And as always, it is a pleasure to have Terry on board. And I second all of the stuff she said, except that you should also support her Patreon because she is a very fine artist.
I have a Patreon. That was the thing.
Yes, she has a Patreon, which she needs to mention much more often than she does. And but she's a very fine artist, and you guys should check out her work. And last but certainly not least at all is the fourth member of the crew who is rounding out the group and is new this week. And I'm very, very excited. We're planning maybe doing something like this for a little while, and I'm glad that it has finally come together. And that, of course, is Amal El Motar. Amal, it is a pleasure to have you. Welcome. Hi. And for those who don't know you, maybe talk a little bit about yourself and all that.
Sure. Hi, I'm a writer. I write short fiction and criticism. I had a story this year that won a bunch of awards, which made me really happy. And I also write reviews for NPR and the New York Times. And I am a huge Tolkien nerd. Like, literally, The Hobbit is my favorite book in the entire world. Like, when people ask me what my favorite book is, it's not one of those, oh, I can't decide because I love reading. It's like, no, it's The Hobbit.
Yep.
I love The Hobbit so much.
Same.
Yay! And I've loved it since I was 7. It's interesting because I'm actually pretty new to D&D. Like, growing up, my role-playing games of choice were always World of Darkness. So the fact that this is a very, very familiar skin laid over a relatively unfamiliar system is kind of exciting to me. I'm really into it. And I don't know what else. I've got stuff. I think that's about it.
Very, very cool. I am excited, and she's going to introduce her character when the character makes an appearance. The character has not joined the group as of yet, so will be joining the group. And yeah, Ayami, if you like writers, you were in the right place. That's our thing. That's what we do here.
Please tell me we're not all going to meet in a tavern, because I hate that.
Yeah, well, absolutely. A tavern, and then an old man presents you a note in a bottle. No.
I'm going on an adventure.
Finally, yay!
How I started role playing. That was literally how I started.
Okay.
It was like
Same.
form role playing in this like
An old man approached you in the tavern.
That's it.
That's exactly yeah.
No, actually,
wearing no.
for us it was we were also in a tavern, but the note was like stuck to the door with a knife. But there was an old man.
Okay.
The first role playing I
There
ever
was
did
an old
in
barkeeper
Spaceballs.
dude though.
Okay, that's as long as that's there.
Yeah, there was something called the Inn of the Weary Traveler once upon a time that was like on some web chat in the 90s, and that was where I started role playing. But I
Oh.
won't say anything else because my God, what if someone actually also was there?
Then they'd be like, "You were insert name." You're like, "Oh God."
Never. No one will ever know.
Yep. No,
I get the same way with Ambermush. I don't talk about my time on Ambermush because I completely
I know
took
people
that.
who were on Ambermush. I wonder if you know any of them.
It's possible if they were there during the attempted regicide and trial. Yeah, that was
Making
me.
note of this.
that's really funny. I guess I'll go rewrite this whole scenario. Exactly, Kalishnikov. Yeah, Yami, if you've lost your mojo for writing, you hopefully will gain it back. This is a good group of people, but also a good campaign to do it with because Tolkien is the deal. Yeah, no follow-up questions, Scott. Yeah, says Kilobyte, the second winner of the of Arvanaut Idol, Arvanaut Idol 2. So yeah, he knows about the writing stuff. But anyway, and no, Will, you weren't born then because you are 14, so that's probably why. All right, well, let us get into it. Let's get a little bit of first of all, let's get our music going on here. I'd like to point out that this music, which is royalty free, is by the famous Kevin MacLeod. Even if you don't know the name, you've almost certainly heard music because the guy has over 2,000 pieces of music royalty-free that he put around, that he's made available to people on various videos and things like that. It's appeared in major motion pictures as well. And the only reason I bring him up is because he recently followed my Twitch channel because he lives in Green Bay, Wisconsin, where John Helfers, who I think Amal knows, happens to, or maybe not, but he's an editor and he also lives there and is a good friend of mine and plays D&D with me. So that's why the world has 3 people in it. And so we now know that. Anyway, but it is a pleasure to have everybody here. And yes, let us summarize quickly for the folks here. So the reason that you see this fort that you're looking at with these tokens on it is that these folks have gone to seek out one Dindi Brandybuck, who is a hobbit that ran the Easterly Inn along with his brother Dodi Brandybuck. Dodi was the one who actually hired the party in the first place. They went to the Easterly Inn, and Dodi explained that his brother had gone to get supplies for the inn and was weeks overdue, and he was nervous about him, and so the party decided to follow his tracks. They took they took the river down, so they went down the river, had a couple of encounters, both near encounters with some Bjornings, and then some more distant encounters with perhaps elves singing in the distance, which had a particular effect on Robar. When they got down to a place called the Old Ford, they were stopped by a set of Bjorning guards, and after speaking with them, they found that there had been hobbits going to and from, and other humans going to and from the high pass that was on this bridge that they had been stopped at, called the Old Ford. So they got out of their boats, headed west. While heading west, they helped a family in need, a party which had a wagon trapped in the mud, managed to rescue that wagon, and in so doing found a set of tracks which led them further on to the west, goblin tracks specifically. Eventually when they made camp in an area of a great deal of ruins, centuries old, with castle walls that had fallen down, places of that sort. And in the night, they were beset by a shadow creature. Tawny Bear was actually not just beset, but actually entrapped by that creature. He was sent into the dream world and brought to a marsh where he was embedded. Notably, Trendane was talking about, I just had a nightmare about drowning. I'm like, that won't at all come up today. Anyway, so Tawny Bear in water.
I remember that dream now. Thank you.
Yes. I thought I'd bring it back to you. And so Inga and Robar were eventually able to at least hold off this shadow creature for long enough for Tawny Bear to return, and the three of them were able to drive the creature off. In the morning, they went back to where Tawny Bear had been kept and found a number of corpses, skeletons, and one in particular that seemed to have what might have been the remnants of armor, again, from a battle centuries old. They did find a torque, like a necklace, around it, which they took with them, and they found more of these goblin tracks leading off to the west. Following them, they eventually discovered this hill fort that you see in front of you. It's a hill which rises and then has this flat top, much shorter than Weathertop, for those of you who are also Lord of the Rings nerds, but much shorter than that, with a slight kind of dirt embankment set around the outside. And they found there the character for whom they'd been seeking, Dindi, along with his bodyguards, or at least what was left of them. 3 villagers from Bree, and then 1 Bjorning, who was kind of the lead of the crew, who was injured when they discovered him because an orc raiding party had found them, goblin raiding party led by an orc, and had basically harassed them for the last several nights. It's fortunate that the party stumbled upon them, because without it, no doubt they would not have survived another night. The party was able to heal the chief, whose name was Ingar, were able to heal him, which allowed him to help in the fight to come. The party had quite a tall task in front of them. There were waves of goblins they were able to repel, several larger orc warriors that charged in, and then an orc chieftain of some kind who they were able to kill and defeat. Inga almost didn't make it. In fact, she's still lying there unconscious. Robar was had the hell beat out of him as well. Even Tawny Bear was affected as also. But otherwise, they all managed to survive, with the one exception of, as they turned after the battle was over, they noticed in the center of the camp where Dindi had miserably been sort of waiting, hoping that everything would pass over. He was pretty much not an ability to be able to fight. They found a hole underneath him, underneath this wagon, and Dindi himself was gone. And that was where we left the cliffhanger last month. And so with all that background, I now hand that back over to the party, specifically Tawny Bear, Robar, and Inga. And as I said, when Amal's character enters, then we will introduce her accordingly. So, Tawny, Robar, Inga, floor is yours.
I was just going to say, go.
So Inga has been stabilized at this point.
Yes.
She's not about to die. Good.
Correct.
And I carried her body up there. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Touching scene that was.
Yeah, I'll look to Tawny Bear and say, "You okay?" Inga's gonna be fine, I think.
I've had worse. Oh, she, however, and so he'll reach over
Help.
and use hands of a healer to do the thing. But I can remember where it is.
To beat her senseless, because I don't know what that means. Wait, what?
I gotta do something with myself. I can't remember where it is. Oh, it's right there.
There you go.
Right.
I put my hands.
So, have 6 hit points back.
Yay!
All right, now remember that starts you at 0, Inga, so that means you're at 6 total now. So your eyes flicker open, like, looking up at the concerned faces of Tawny Bear and Robar standing above him.
You're right there, little one.
Ugh.
Ingar comes over.
I broke every bone in my body. I think.
Ingar comes over. Is she gonna be all right?
She'll live.
With time.
He says, "That's good. The only question." Oh, bless it all! And you notice that he's just seen the hole underneath the wagon. I suppose Dindy's gone, isn't he?
I suppose he is, Ingar. I suppose he is.
And he sort of rolls his eyes and he says, I should have expected nothing less. That's what you get for staying in the center of a fort and not getting involved in the fight yourself. You know, he's not a bad chap as far as hobbits, halflings go, but couldn't he be a little more forceful?
Wait,
He's
Dindi is gone?
Yes.
What?
He
Don't
was
worry.
hiding. He was hiding under the wagon. The hole opened up. He fell down.
Did his brother mention that we need to bring him back alive? Because if we find him, when we find him, I'm gonna make him even another head shorter than he already is.
Is it a well or something? What?
If you want to go over and take a look, you can, certainly.
Yeah, I guess I'll kind of cool down. You can come out now, Dindi.
So it doesn't look like that's likely.
So
the entrance is right here, and right underneath this wagon, as I mentioned, that was sitting on top of it, and you can see that it actually is a hole which descends probably about maybe 6 or 7 feet to a sandy or dirt floor, I should say, below, and then it's immediately gets dark after that, so you don't know whether or not it obviously runs somewhere, like it seems to be a passageway or a room of some kind, but you'd have to drop into it to see it.
Okay. Well, there's no sign of him. He's run down into the tunnels down there probably and got himself lost again.
Run down or fell down?
With hobbits, it's always hard for me to tell. Inga, you feeling okay? You gonna live? You look kind of sick.
I think I will be fine for now.
Looks like when you got attacked by those orcs, you got a winter cold.
That was just from laying on the cold ground for so long.
Oh,
Next
3
level
weeks.
role playing.
From a goblin named Pestilence.
I'll check with Ingar. You know, Ingar, is everything all right? I believe he lost a friend, right? We lost one of them. Ned or Ted or...
Yes, that is right. There were 3. There was
Bill, Tom, and Andy.
Bill, Tom, and Andy. And it was actually Tom, who was the one to the southern side, who was defending the southern side, who does not seem to be moving. And as Ingar sort of looks up again, he had been attending to him when he came over to see how you were doing, Inga. And he looks up again, and he kind of looks over at the motionless body and shakes his head, and he says, "That's a bad business. Tom was a good one, you know. He wasn't old enough to go through any of this. I told him at the time there was no reason for him to try to sign on to something like this, but he said it was easy money, and I agreed." And he sort of lowers his head, and you can see Andy and Bill. Bill, right? Is the other one?
Yes.
You can see
Yes,
Andy and
DM. Yes, it was Bill.
you can see, yeah. I forgot all of a sudden. I'm like, who's he? So
Bill had the bow.
Right, that's right. So you can see Bill with his bow dropped by his side, coming over, and they sort of look at him, and you can see that Andy in particular seems to be broken up about it, and he says, he was one of my best friends. And he says, this is all Dindy's fault. And he looks up at Ingar angrily.
I agree.
If he hadn't gotten into us in this situation, he might still be alive. And,
I don't agree. This is the fault of a goblin.
And Ingar sort of says, "Aye, Tawny Bear's right. You can't blame someone for what someone else did, lad. Dindi was, well, he wasn't the bravest hobbit I've ever seen, but he wasn't a bad sort."
So not again.
And you can see Bill sort of shakes his head. Sorry, Andy, I beg your pardon, shake his head, kind of angrily and turn away. And so Ingar says, "Listen, I don't know if there's much that we can do, but we can try to get things sorted out here. But there's no way any of us are in a condition to go down there and look for him. If you came to find him too, well, I'd say that's your path."
Yeah, it looks like we're going down there to find Dindi. If you guys stay up here, should be safe. I don't know how far those tunnels go, though, so...
He says if it's anything, it actually explains a little bit of why these attacks were able to happen. Last 2 nights when they attacked us, they came from directions I didn't expect. I didn't know how they were doing it. I bet this whole area is just crisscrossed with those warrens underneath. Probably caves and holes in them. Like
Great.
rats, you know?
Yeah, so Dindi's gone out of the frying pan, as it were.
Aye. It's a familiar thing, you say. I think I've heard that before. But so, and then he kind of shakes his head again, looking at the fallen body of Tom, and goes over to attend to him. Andy and Bill sort of wander over that way as well. And it's up to you guys as to what you want to do.
Well, Inga, are you ready to go back into some tunnels? You want to take a rest, first of all?
I think I'm gonna need some rest.
Question, Mr. DM.
Yes.
When we all went up to level 2, I'm now a level 2 scholar, right?
Yes, I believe so.
So it means Inga should get 2d8 plus 4, not 1d8 plus 4.
Well, lovely. Make it so.
Well, great.
I shall roll this.
But this time just the 1d8, because you already got the 4 in there. So.
Yeah. So 1d8 plus...
Actually, why am I talking? I've got 7 hit points. What the hell am I going back into? I don't know.
Add another 6.
Another 6.
Oh, my God.
Okay, so
you know what? I think we should take a rest. Yeah.
You're at 12. Now, I do want to point out one thing to all of you. This is not, I swear, I am not railroading you into the tunnels. I just want, just in case, to be clear, that he couldn't have been gone for more than 5 or 10 minutes. So I'm just letting you know that if you take a rest, you'll have to take into account that when you go looking for him. I'm just letting you know that doesn't mean you're going to lose the game if you don't. I'm just reminding you.
Or are we?
Or are you? Yeah.
Well, I just lost the game.
Yeah.
All right. No, we can take him. Everyone good to go? I mean, he can't have gone far by now. He's small and he's got stumpy little stupid legs. So let's go find him.
Presuming he was not being carried, but yes.
Well, we're
That's
about to
something
find
about-
out. Let's go.
If he's dead, he's dead.
True.
If he's not, we'll find him.
Okay. So you guys are going to head in.
Yeah, that's.
Okay.
Maybe
I'm
you can
taking
go.
point.
Yeah, you should go first. You
Yeah.
see in the dark better than any of us.
You're the one that's closest to full hit points, I think.
And you're small.
And also, I'm a dwarf.
No, that's not true, Classicor. Yeah.
what did he say? Let me
He
see.
said, I'm not railroading into tunnels. It's just the only map I could afford on Roll20 this week. That is not true. That is not true. No, it seriously is not true. I'm only reminding them because it's been a month since they played, so I wanted to remind them about the circumstances. That's all. Okay, so if you guys are heading into the tunnels, so now it is this actually as you'll have to be. If you're going to have to sort of drop down, it's not a very long drop, as I said, but Ingo, once you're down there, you would need help to get back up. Tawny Bear might be
take a
able.
rope.
Okay,
I
so
take a rope, tie it to the wagon, and then let myself down. To the tunnel.
okay, when you get down there, you notice that you were in a rather large sort of cave, apparently. At least that's what it looks like. But you can't see very far because beyond where the light is shining from above you, it is pitch dark down here.
Even I can't see, right?
Correct,
So
but that's because of the
I-
light, though. Now your eyes might adjust, and then you'd be able to use your dark vision to be able to see. But obviously, Tawny Bear and and Robar would not have that benefit. So.
I think I have a torch or a lantern or something somewhere. Digging through my inventory right now.
Okay. Hey, Albernacker.
See it.
Can you see anything down here? Inga, I can't see. Almost
I
anything.
can't see. I can't find my torch in my backpack because it's too dark in here.
Don't worry, take mine.
No, I found it. Yeah, I light my torch.
Okay. Now that you light it up, you can see that you are in a pretty good-sized cave, actually, and you can see there is, in fact, a path that is leading out of it. The dirt floor below where you are is absolutely covered with all kinds of tracks and scrapes, and it looks like there was... You're no tracker, but you can see when there was a fight. I mean, there was some, like, kicking and something or other going on down here because there's all kinds of confused things, and then pairs of tracks, maybe 5 or 6, maybe more, leading off towards that tunnel.
The others aren't down here yet, right?
Not yet.
Okay, so I go back to the opening and go. I think there was a fight down here.
A fight? Oh, blast. That means he's probably dead.
I don't see a corpse.
They might have
Should
eaten
go
him.
venture deeper into the tunnel and see. Come down here.
Alright, fine. Fine. This is fine. This is fine. I jump down.
Okay. So you land and using...
Can I a hobbit lay here? Oh yes.
Is that a verb?
Yes.
Right.
2 hobbit lay here.
He's been hobbited, is I think the verb you're looking for. But yes, so you sort of jump down, and again you're able to see, other than that shaft of light, it's pretty dark except where Inga is holding up her torch, and you can see also this passageway extending into the shadows. There are, as she said, lots of tracks on the ground of various kinds, which you could, do whatever you want with, but there are a lot of tracks around.
Okay, you're right, Inga. Let's see if we can follow them, see if we can find any tiny little footprints down here. I mean, does the tunnel branch off at this point?
Right now you're just in a cave. There's one tunnel at
Okay.
the other far end that you need to walk to, and then it looks like, it doesn't seem to be branching yet. It just seems to be like, just going, like, straight.
Then yeah, let's head through there. Tawny Bear, you coming down?
Yes.
Okay. Tawny Bear, you can squeeze through with a little bit more difficulty than the others, but you're able to drop down. The roof is high enough overhead that you don't have to duck or anything, but it's not tons and tons of room up above you. And the tunnel, the ceiling narrows a little bit so that you're able to walk through, but it's, I don't know, out of character for a minute, if you've ever been in a basement where you're sort of right... you don't hit your head, but you keep worrying that you're going to. Like, I lean up a little bit. That's pretty much what this is like. The roof is a little uncomfortably close, but you're able to move without restriction.
What I figured it was going to be.
Yep, and you see the same sort of tracks that everyone else mentioned.
Yeah.
So, yes, go ahead. Sorry, what's up, Inga?
Yeah, I go back to the opening and shout out, "Take care of my pony while we're gone."
And Ingar, leans his head over. He'll be fine. I don't expect we're going to get any more attacks from that quarter. Certainly not until the evening, and probably not even then. Don't worry, he'll be okay. You take care of yourselves down there, and listen, and he kind of lowers his voice a little bit. You make sure you're fine, Dindi. I don't want anybody else dead on my watch.
Aye, sure. We'll take care. We'll take care. You just... make sure you're not getting attacked by goblins again.
He nods. He nods and smiles, and then he let's see. There we go. Nods and smiles.
Not in why?
There we go. Sorry, I was responding to something. Yes. So he nods and smiles and then disappears again. And so now you guys are able to follow the tunnels. Now the tunnels that you're in are not exactly single file, but if you move 2 abreast, it's going to be pretty tight quarters. So you could...
Especially me.
Yeah, especially... You cannot. You definitely have to be on your own. But Robar and Inga could theoretically go side by side, but they'd just be a little restricted. So it's up to you guys if you want to go single file with full movement, or if you want to go, 2 abreast with Robar and Inga, either in front or in back.
Nah, I'll take point.
Okay. So Robar, are you in the middle or are you in the back?
I'll go in the middle.
Okay. All right. So you guys set off, and you go for probably a good 10 minutes or so, and the tunnel more or less goes straight with a few little bends here and there, but more or less straight. But then you notice that it is beginning to descend and sink down further. And as you go down, after about maybe 20 or 25 minutes or so, you start hearing something down the tunnel. So I'd like the three of you to make perception checks for me, please. You can see what it is you hear.
Perception is
Okay.
not one. That's that's the luck I'm used to.
You're like, well, I hear no sound at all. And same thing with Inga. But Tawny Bear, you actually do hear something.
Does this count as wilderness for me?
I wouldn't say so.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't say so.
Okay.
It turns out that what it actually is, Tawny Bear, is singing. That's why I shut off the music. It sounds something, it's sort of this guttural sounding voice. You can almost make it out. If you went a little bit further, you could probably make out what they were singing.
Someone is singing.
I hear nothing.
I know
What's
that.
singing?
That's why I'm telling you that someone.
Oh,
singing.
what are they singing?
You want to go a little further? You can if you wish. And then...
I can't make it out yet. We have to move closer, quietly.
Okay.
We move forward quietly.
So, after another few minutes, all of you are able to hear the singing now, and Tawny Bear in specific. And it sounds roughly like this. They're singing in Common, actually. Or, I should say not Goblin. Let's put it that way. Common is a D&D thing, but not Goblin. Sounding something like this. Goblins live down in the caves, ain't had nothing to eat for days. Empty belly, sharpened teeth, sharp blades in a blackened sheath. Goblins are a courteous folk, always polite and real well spoke. After a fight, one we're the winner, bring the foe back home for dinner. Hey! And then there's this big shouting and clapping, and you hear sort of sounds echoing off the walls, and then... Dwarves is tough and mostly beard. Elves are stringy and taste weird. In better times we eat man flesh. Smoke it, cook it, eat it fresh. Put the hobbit in the pot. Eat him up, we'll have the lot. Bring him to the goblin feast. Bring him to the goblin feast. And then there's more laughter and clapping and shouting. And then they repeat the verses. Then they reverse the verses. A lot of talks about hobbits and pots. Hobbit and pot, pot and hobbit. That's what we like and we nobbit. Yeah. Stuff like that.
I love this.
Sounds like they're hungry.
Sounds like they are cooking Dindi.
We should probably put a stop to that.
How many voices
yeah.
can we make out?
So they were trying to sing somewhat in unison, but there's got to be more than 10. It's a little hard to tell because it's echoey, so some of the echoes may be sort of, but definitely not like hundreds, but more than a few, 10, 15, maybe around, but it's hard to tell.
Okay, so like quietly I whisper to the others. So I suppose there must be another entrance to this tunnel thing. I think it would be best if one of us would run back quickly and try to find the other entry, and like maybe we can like divert them into one direction.
Good idea. Let's split up.
Dwarves is tough and mostly beard. Did you just say let's split up?
Let's split up the party.
Outstanding.
Really good.
One of you will go straight up through the stone roof. One will you go straight. Yeah, fortunately, you have no place to do that yet. It does seem to be coming from a good distance away still, but it is getting louder, obviously, as you get closer. And so, yes. And then it just seems to have descended and you almost hear this sort of almost like a slapping of feet or on stone or something like that, sort of rhythmically. Getting a little bit quieter
I have an idea.
now.
What we should do instead. Who is the fastest of us? The fastest runner?
Probably me.
Right, okay, so Tony and I go back to the cave.
Okay.
You stay here for like, how much time did we take to walk here?
So far, about a half hour.
Half hour.
Okay, so like in if we go fast, then we should be there in 15 minutes. Then you are gonna try to get the goblins' attention and try to lure them back into the cave where we will be waiting with the others, and then we will ambush them.
Okay.
Does it sound like an idea?
That sounds like an idea.
Okay.
Sounds like an idea.
I don't know what.
Do you have a better
idea
one?
It is, but
Well, my worry is the fact that we don't know where the other entrances are yet.
No. I mean, forget the thing about the other entrance. That would take too long. I mean, we just run back where we came from and get the others to fight with us.
my only concern is that Dindi might be dead by the time that happens.
Does it sound like they're marching?
Yes, and it sounds like they're getting a little farther away. It also sounds like they're a good distance. If you had to guess, you probably wouldn't. It's not like you're going to walk around the corner and find them unless the sound is really messed up. You believe that they're probably a good distance away.
So should we just track behind them?
Well, they seem to be on their way to somewhere. They're not there yet. So what I'm wondering is, if I remember correctly, goblins tend to be easily frightened at first when confronted with something by surprise. We could very easily rush them, screaming, roaring, and everything, and they might scatter. I could be wrong about that as well. We could be facing a small army of our goblins who would just turn and be like, "Oh, no, we don't freak out that easily." I believe that's the technical term for it.
It's worth a try. I mean, we should get closer, see how many they are.
Well, all right, then we move on.
Okay.
We might find a spot where we can branch off, and then we can still use your plan.
Then we can still split up the party. All right, let's move.
Okay, so you guys are going to continue to...
Yeah, but sneakily.
Sneakily, okay.
Sneakily.
So as you move forward following them, still down this one tunnel, you notice that it is beginning to... the tunnel, first of all, is getting a little narrower and continues to descend. You also notice that the sound seems to be getting further away. And now you're starting to pass a few branches. You find the first couple of small ones. The first couple ones are almost like just cracks in the wall, like not places that probably even a goblin could pass through. But then you pass a couple of larger tunnels. And even though the singing still seems to be ahead of you, you begin to doubt yourself because the tunnel begins to curl a little bit. And there are more sort of coming in from the left and right sides. You're not entirely sure if you're going east or west, by the way. You could try to figure out a way to discover that if you like. But, the direction that you're going, tunnels coming in left and right. So as time goes on and you go farther, you begin to get nervous that you're sort of losing ground and sight of them. So I will need the scout. Who was the scout that was playing doing the journey?
You mean the guy? No, the guide is different, right?
Guide was different, right?
I think that was me.
I
Okay.
think it was Tony Bay.
So
Because
Tawny
I wrote
Bear-
down the guide, the lookout, and the food.
Tawny Bear, I need you to make an investigation check then.
Oh, good. I'll take the 9.
Okay. You become very sort of disoriented, Tawny Bear, as you're sort of trying to find your way around. First of all, Bjornings are about the outer sky,
Subterranean
not
creatures.
hanging about caves, right? Exactly. So you're kind of like, where am I? So you kind of head up to the left, and then you think it's forward. Then the voices seem to be behind you somehow, and then die away entirely. And fairly short order, you are sort of lost in this, not lightless gloom because you have your torches, but you sort of do not know where they are. And for a couple of hours, you sort of are wandering around trying to track down where they might be. I need all three of you, please, to make a wisdom saving throw for me. The darkness has become oppressive, even with the torches. You hear there's the sound of dripping around you. Dripping water is falling down upon you, and then the darkness kind of weighs in. And Robar, as all three of you are sort of passing around one particular bend, there is a little alcove. And as the three of you sort of pass it, all of a sudden Inga shouts, presumably, because fallen on her is a skeleton. It's not alive. It has fallen out of the alcove, tumbled onto you. And as you look at the skeleton, Inga, sort of pushing it off of you, you notice that it is dwarf-sized.
No! Oh,
And
It's not yours. It's okay.
no, exactly, it's not yours. Inga,
my skeleton is outside of my body.
Inga, I need you to take, please. This is the first time it's happened. A point of shadow.
Oh
is-
God!
This is no mine.
Where do I put this one?
It should. I'm actually not looking at your sheet. Not 100% sure. Where's my? Hold on. Let me pop up the sheet.
I don't think we.
I know that there's a spot.
There's miserable. I see.
Right. Miserable is if you get to a
yes.
certain stage.
Gotcha. Oh, here it is.
Shadow is right under
yeah.
charisma, isn't it? Or-
It's. Oh no, I see it underneath your despair.
Yes,
So like your
yeah.
distinctive qualities on the right hand side of the page, you've got shadow and exhaustion. Right next to like your longsword, short bow, and great bow. To the right of that, your like attack.
Thank you for the follow, Thomas Powell.
I do not see it. I am
I'm
blind.
gonna
Are you on the second page? On the
I'm
yeah,
on the
on-
core page.
on core. So
Look at
underneath the red button core,
Yeah.
underneath distinctive quality, speciality, hope, despair, down. Just underneath that, you've got
Ah,
shadow.
there it is.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So 1 point of shadow. Also, Tawny Bear, it is not so much that, it is the fact that the skeleton doesn't help. It is more the oppressiveness of the environment. You feel burdened, and coming back to you is the feeling that you had of being in that dream of floating in that water as you were struggling to breathe. It presses down upon you, and you also take a point of shadow. Robar, you, on the other hand, as you are going through, in an odd way, the darkness that you confronted when you heard the elves singing stands you in good stead here, because in a way you've experienced this burden already. And so although you also feel the pressure of the darkness kind of weighing down upon you, it does not affect you in the same way. So you're sort of like, but you notice obviously your companions, their moods growing darker if you'll pardon the pun, as we go through this. So the skeleton, kind of crumbles into dust, Inga, after you push it off, but all of you are feel weighed down, whether or not there's a mechanical effect on it or not. And as you're pushing through, you notice, Tawny Bear, after a while, you begin to start to maybe get your bearings again. Like maybe it's up to here, to the east. You think this is maybe the east because it seems like this is the direction you might have been heading originally, and maybe you're following your gut, but you might be coming back here. But the going is very slow. The tunnels here have gotten very narrow, so you have to push your way through. Even Inga and Robar, the ground underneath has become very uneven and unsteady, and so you have to kind of clamber over rocks and so forth. So I also need the three of you to make a survival check for me, please.
Okie-dokie.
Is that all of us or just
All three.
how well can I survive?
I will survive.
Where it is? There it
Okay.
is. Ooh,
So-
20.
So Tawny Bear and Inga are just sort of like, trying to kind of struggle through, but you guys do manage to push on despite it. But Robar, you have kind of had a lot going on. Even though you were not affected by the shadow as much as the others were, the physical strain of your journey is beginning to tell on you, particularly because of all the damage that you took in that last fight, the stress of trying to find Dindi, the fact that the whole thing is sort of weighed down upon you. And so you actually have a level of exhaustion. So you were dealing with a level of exhaustion. The other two are dealing with points of shadow. As you are sort of dealing with all of this, as you're sort of struggling along, you begin to hear a noise echoing from the distance, and it sounds like...
Someone's tapping their microphone somewhere.
Come on in.
Don't
Is it in the
say
wall?
that down here.
Oh, where's it coming from?
It's unclear. It's echoing sort of in front of you, but not sort of definitively. As you go forward, it seems to be maybe around you, below you,
Can
and
we
it's very
feel it-
regular.
Feel it through the walls at all, anywhere that it might be?
Yes. As you get closer, you can feel it kind of resonating in the floor below you.
I don't like this.
Need you guys to make a wisdom save, please.
Save?
Save.
All of us?
All three.
Lore master. Alright.
All three still.
Ugh, 5.
Okay. 5. I see Robar's 13.
This is so Doctor Who. Lore master, I have.
Oh, I shall check. Sorry, beg your pardon.
Sorry.
Oh, yes and yes.
Okay, great.
Thank you for the cheer, Vincent. I appreciate it. Vincent's trying to cheer you guys up. It's okay. It's fine.
Thank you, Vincent.
Thank you, Vincent.
All right. So, Tawny Bear and Robar, you guys are okay with this, but Inga, this reminds you, perhaps in part, of when you were younger, the experience of walking through some of the tunnels and hearing these mysterious sounds that would sometimes trouble you. As much as, of course, you are familiar with the underground environment, the sort of regularity of it is terrifying, as if it is someone that is trying to warn you or bother you or disturb you, and after a while you become fixated on it. Like, what is this thing that doesn't get louder and it doesn't get quieter and it doesn't stop? I need you to take another point of shadow.
Pick a freaking letter of Morse code and just
Wait, everybody gets a point of shadow?
Just you. Just you, Inga.
Oh, great.
Oh, great. That's lovely.
Getting all shadowy there, Inga.
Yep.
I'm just in my emo phase. Don't
Yeah.
judge.
Right,
the
you suddenly have the
MCR.
urge to listen to Evanescence quite a bit.
Oh.
Wake me up! I can't wait!
No! Kill my character instead. No.
Good times, good times. Okay. All right. Let me double check here. Okay, what's your let's see, when your shadow point total exceeds their wisdom score. Okay, right. So you have a couple of points of shadow, which is just, it doesn't have a mechanical effect yet except to feel the sort of burden of what is here. And that is bothersome to you.
So I'm basically starting to suffer from depression.
That might be a good way to put it. Just the weight of this place is enormous. Even though, as I say, you're used to the underground, but there's something about it reminds you a little bit of the... Oh yeah, I guess that's true. You wouldn't be. That's
No,
true.
I only
That's
lived
true.
underground for like 3 years or so.
That's true. Well, but that's 3 more years than, say, Tawny Bear did. So, this definitely feels sort of abnormal. Okay, so, and at this point, by the way, some hours have passed as you've been sort of wandering through. Your torches that you've been using, the torch that you've been using, Inga, is starting to get a little low, just so you know. As you are going, you hear the sound of, you probably can already hear the sound of dripping water, but now you actually begin to hear something else. First sort of at a distance, but then... Hold on a second. There we go. You begin to hear the sound of louder rushing water, and soon the tunnel you've been following opens up into a chasm. There is far below, you can see there is what looks like some kind of an underground river or something like that, which is there, and you can actually see several holes in the rock below you from which water is pouring and falling down into this river that is below where you are. The tunnel continues on the far side of the chasm. So basically the tunnel comes to an end, and there's you, and then on the other side you see another tunnel on the other side of the wall, and there is a narrow ledge that is running from the other opposite tunnel all the way around the chasm to where you guys are. And it runs underneath several of these waterfalls that I mentioned that are pouring water out to join that river down below. So there is no bridge across. There's only a ledge along the wall to the tunnel on the other side.
So chasm, that means, is there like, can we see up outside? Like, can we see the sky from here?
No.
Or?
No.
Okay.
There is the roof is actually higher here, but it's just a stone roof.
Is there like a way alongside the wall then, or is there only the ledge we are standing on?
There is, well, the ledge itself kind of extends to the left and right, you know, like around the chasm. And it seems to be a ledge that's all the way around the end of the room to the other one. It looks, you know, passable, but obviously treacherous.
And there's no other way that would make sense.
Not unless you feel like making a big old jump.
Dwarves are not known to make big old jumps. I would suggest that we follow the ledge over there.
All right. Ledges are good.
How wide is the ledge?
The ledge is probably about a few feet. It might be
Ledge.
3 or 4 feet. You might guess, but it passes underneath several of those waterfalls that are coming from the, you know, gaps in the rock to reach the river down below.
I start walking.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you guys going left or right? Because
There are two directions?
there are two directions. I mean, the tunnel's pretty much equidistant, so either way passes underneath the waterfall, but there's just, yeah, two different paths basically, but both ledges along the wall.
I go left.
Okay.
All right, I'll follow. You know best.
Tawny Bear, same.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I totally know what I'm doing. Yes, I do.
Okay.
Trying
So-
to think what I have.
Right.
Sorry.
Okay. Do you want? Yeah.
Well, I don't have a shield, but what I was thinking of is, like, you know, if you can angle the shield in such a way, then the weight of the waterfall will push you up against the wall.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have a shield, so I'm trying to figure out what I can use for that, because my staff won't be enough. Just push against the water. Just paddle my way onto the waterfall again. No, I'll figure it out. Go.
Who's your guide?
Robar.
Me, yes.
So, Robar, one thing that occurs to you as they start to make their way around is that you notice sort of the ledge itself as it comes to the water is slick with water, and so you're going to have to try to make presumably some accommodations in case someone were to slip. You notice that you know, as you're looking down at it.
It's pretty slippery down there, Inga. Maybe we should tie a rope off to one another.
Do you have one? Because mine is back at the other end of the tunnel.
Yeah, I always carry it on me.
Okay.
In my handy backpack. I get out my camper's kit and I'll tie one off.
Okay. All right. So you were able to, and you're tying everybody together. Is that what I understand?
Yeah, I think we'll tie one another together so that if one of us falls, we can more easily grab the other. Or we'll all die together.
Aww,
Or the campaign will
romantic.
end at once, and Amal will have not played in any of it. So that's great.
You
Okay.
just jump to them all, and then she just plays the
There
rest.
you go.
Right, exactly. By the way, and I'm sure you already know this, Will, you certainly don't need to be reminded, but just so the chat knows, because Will is dealing with a level of exhaustion, he has disadvantage on ability checks. Not that I imagine any such ability check could be called for here in just a moment, but I'm just letting you all know. Okay, so you begin to make your way around, and so Inga is it the same order? Inga first, Robar second, and Tiny Bear in the back? Yes?
That's good to me, yeah.
Okay. All right. So Inga makes her way around as you pass underneath the first waterfall, and there's basically two of them that you're passing underneath. The ledge does pass underneath enough that the only thing that's really making the ledge really slick is the spray from the water. It's not pouring onto the ledge. Nonetheless, though, you're going to need to make a dexterity check, specifically acrobatics if you got that, but if not, dexterity. So Inga, you have to do that first.
I do not have acrobatics.
Okay, so dexterity straight up then.
And you can still click on
Oh,
acrobatics.
natural 20!
Wow. So you just parkour through the waterfall. I mean, it's fine. Like Lara Croft has nothing on you. You get across with zero difficulty whatsoever. And that positions you well for the next person who has to make the same crossing, which is Robar. Robar, remember I mentioned previously a ability check situation that you might be facing. Indeed.
It's an 8 with disadvantage.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So You,
Bye.
yeah, you exactly. You were on your way across when your foot slips on the side of the ledge, no doubt due to your tiredness, and you stumble. And of course, there's not much room to move, and you fall off. Now, the good news is that you have your two companions there, but I need them to make strength checks, please. Not saving throws, checks. Actually, I take that back. Strength saving throws, both of them. We'll see if both of them can stay on the ledge.
I do outmass him by a bit.
Exactly. I am conscious of that.
And dwarfs weigh about as much as humans, so.
Indeed. Okay. I'm pretty sure at least Tawny Bear will stay on. We'll see what
I
happens.
have to make a strength check too, right?
Yep.
Sorry.
Check or save? You said save.
Oh.
I said save. I'm sorry. Save.
Oh
Beg your
god,
pardon.
because I rolled 20.
You.
Aww.
That's okay. It was not a complicated one, and it helped that Tawny Bear made his. So you're able to hold on. There's a big jerk at the end of the rope. I don't mean that literally, Will. Douche. And so you're like, huh, and manage to hold him back. He's dangling below you, looking perhaps a trifle sheepish. You guys are able to pull him back onto the ledge if you so choose, and then Robar, you're able to kind of
we drop him.
move forward. I want to say, by the way, that it actually notes that if the character falls in without having been roped together, the character, quote, perishes. So so I'm glad that you roped yourselves together there, because that would have been difficult.
Just as well.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Okay, and then last Tawny Bear has to make that same crossing now that the two of you have made it over. So again, dexterity, acrobatics if you have it.
This is where we all perish. Watch this.
You're fine.
Fortunately, I don't have disadvantage.
I was just going to say that. Can you imagine if you were exhausted? That would be
Yes,
bad.
I can.
You would literally just take them like under each arm and throw yourself off is what that would be. But no, you make it. Yeah.
The two of them trying to hold up Tawny Bear's weight.
Yeah, good luck. No, you were able to make it through over the first crossing. That allows you to get to the other wall. You're able to continue moving to the second waterfall, but you are somewhat troubled to see that on the other waterfall, the water has eaten away at and eventually apparently has fallen under. The ledge there's a break in the ledge. So there is basically a little gap that you're going to have to jump across to the other side of it. It's not a big gap, it's small, but yeah.
It's small when you don't have to jump across it.
That's a good point. Yes, you're going to have to make a little jump. Now, the effect of this is going to be you're going to have to make another one of these acrobatics, but it's going to be a little bit more dexterity, but it's going to be a little harder than the last one was.
Okay, so me first, right?
Going.
Yep.
No, feeling
Wendy.
good about this.
Man, Inga is just this is what happens when you don't skip Cirque du Soleil performances. Like it's so easy. Everything is just simple.
Just my natural dwarven awesome.
Yeah, your natural dwarven parkour style, which we all know dwarves have. Okay, so you have no problem. You get over. Oh wait, though. Sorry, Inga.
What?
That's not you're not a save. Check.
I knew it. I was good. I was like,
Every time.
You zigged when you should have zagged. Yeah, sorry. No dexterity check.
Hate everything.
I'm rooting
If
for
I
this.
fail this now.
I know. I'm rooting for this to.
You are dead.
I'm rooting for this to succeed. There, you're fine.
Okay.
Yeah, you're fine. Quite
I'm
not
just
as not quite as parkoury, but.
I just want to say that I would like to request for when I am introduced, if you could just very specifically tell me what dice I'm supposed to be rolling,
That's
because I
fine.
am not going to remember.
That's no problem.
Okay, great.
That's no problem. I'm telling them this because they can actually click on their sheet, and so that's
Oh,
you'll
I see.
have that benefit too. But yeah, no, I will tell you
Great.
what to roll. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Yep. Don't worry about that. Okay, so you're on the other side. Now we've got Robar.
Robar.
Feeling good about himself. Feeling hale and hearty.
I feel so. It's an 11.
That's not bad. You're able to make it across. You do stumble a bit as you reach the other side, but you're kind of like, wave your hands forward to maintain your balance. Okay. And that leads us to Tawny Bear.
Oh god.
No problems. No problem at all. I mean, just like you were made for ledge crossing.
Wasn't.
You get over to the other side with relative ease, and you are happy to see that the rest of the way is not difficult, another 10 or 15 feet or so, and you are to the tunnel entrance on the other side. And as you sort of pull yourself back up onto it, you hear in the distance again a There's the dwarf and the beard pot hobbit. You hear singing again, so you seem to have picked up their trail.
If that's what you want to call it.
That's what they would call it, I think. Okay. So you were able to pull sort of yourself out of the chasm and leave the river and the sound of the river behind. Where's my rushing river at? There we go. Okay. And now you are back just in the regular tunnel. This time, though, as you get closer and as you continue to proceed, you notice that the tunnel is starting to get wider again. The tunnel is leveled out, and now the singing is getting noticeably louder. It no longer seems to be moving away from you. This whole trip, by the way, has taken a good 6-7 hours probably of traveling through these tunnels and through these pathways. This has been a long journey. And as you get to the end of it, again, you can hear the sound of the singing getting louder and louder. And indeed, as you had thought would be, it is the same exact song. Apparently, they don't have a lot of innovative lyric writing. Goblins are a courteous folk, and so on. And they're going on with that too.
I don't know if I agree with that part.
They seem to be very big on that. They seem to be very big on that part as well.
Go round and round, round.
Okay. Now the tunnel opens up, and I'm going to bring you guys over to a new map.
It's a tavern where you meet a new player.
Yes, you meet a tavern. No.
That's the old man with a note.
I'm going to bring you guys over here. So what I would like you, the three of you, to do is to place your tokens right up here, up towards the corner of this. Okay, yeah. And you'll have to shrink it down to make.
Oh, I don't think we have edit controls.
Oh, I can do that.
Yeah, I meant to shrink us.
We're huge.
I mean, you're big, Tiny Bear. Don't get me wrong, but
I'm the tallest dwarf ever.
Yeah. I'll make that like that. We'll make Tiny Bear a little bigger just to make him, And then we have Inga.
Is the map supposed to be just in the top left?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's all that's revealed at the moment. Yeah.
I see.
The rest of it's sort of like fog of war, so they can't see the rest.
Or it's just a really crappy map that somebody only made one corner and didn't bother to crop it.
Yeah, exactly. This is the only one I could afford. No, that's not true. Okay. Now, you can also note ahead of you, you heard this sound, and you actually see two of them, two of these that are actually singing the lyrics themselves, but they are not, first of all, not goblins. They are orcs. Secondly, they seem to be messing up the lyrics. Goblins live down in the bellies, teeth, and goblins folk are curted. God, that's not it, you fool. It goes this way. The hobbit in the pot, bring him to the feast of us. No, goblins, I told you, you fool. So they're sort of arguing with each other. And you notice that they're kind of staggering about and holding, both of them have swords and shields by their feet. Both of them have large bottles of something, which they're periodically drinking from, and then shouting at each other and then yelling lyrics to the song that doesn't really quite fit. They do not notice you at all. They seem to be very focused on each other at the moment.
I think it's date night and we've interrupted.
And the elves are weird and have a beard. That's not it, you fool. Stringy dwarves and the hobbits.
I don't know why I ever married you.
Dennis, I'm in time. Goblins are the type of lot. I just met you, and this is crazy. And they're just sort of, that's what they're doing.
I just step out and say, well, don't you look like shit. That was a different orc. Sorry.
Yes, different orc. Okay.
They probably have not noticed us yet, have they?
No, they have not. At the moment, they are paying zero attention. Also, you are somewhat in the darkness still. I mean, they do not have torches, but the light from your torch does not. It only just sort of extends to the end of them. There is behind them what looks like one flickering torch set in like a sconce on the wall, but it's very. A sconce, like a basically a torch holder, more or less, that's designed to be placed, to have torches placed in it. But it is flickering and looks like it's almost out. And of course, orcs don't really need torches to see in the dark in the first place.
I'll just kind of elbow my compatriots and say, hush them.
You want to wash them?
Wash them.
Probably.
I do have some soap with me.
Probably.
Sharp sheaths and a blackened blade. Oh, God, it's damaged, not it. But
We should
Well,
kill them.
rush them, right?
goblin feast, goblin feast.
There's only 2 of them. We can take them.
I get my axe and rush.
I draw my bow before she does that.
And they haven't, as I say, they have not noticed you yet, or even seen you or anything of that kind. So.
Right. So I will.
Oh yeah,
draw
right.
back-
I do have a bow. I get my bow instead of
Yeah,
my
draw
axe.
back our bows and.
I'm sorry, I'm.
I get a chance.
And plink plink.
Okay. Which one are you going to, or like which one are you aiming for?
I'm gonna aim for. Well, I aim for this guy on the left-hand side.
Also, make a perception check for me since you're looking at that one, Robar. Make a perception check for me, please.
Perception.
I was gonna shoot at
5.
the same guy.
Okay. All right. They drunk
Here's
work
Nord.
with a bottle.
Nothing to see here.
Everything's fine here. How are you?
I
Okay.
look at him too.
All right. Go ahead and make a perception check for me then.
Natural 1. Come on.
Yeah.
Natural.
15.
Okay. So. Sorry, I was just looking at the
Thing.
stats of something.
That too.
There we go. This one. That's the one I need. Good. So, Inga, you notice behind this soldier that you're looking at, the one here on the left, on the wall, there is a what looks like a hook that is extending out from the wall, and there is a fairly sizable iron bell hanging from it with a little rope from the bottom of that.
Wait, is he holding the rope?
No,
How
right
far-
now
how
he's
far
holding
away is it?
he's holding this bottle, probably 10 feet behind him. It's basically right here, and he is where he is. Each of these squares is 5 feet, so he's 10 feet in front. And the hobbits, and I'll be in the pot. No, that's not how it goes, you fool.
Okay, so unless the other guys want to do something else, I'm gonna shoot the guy.
Okay.
I'm happy to shoot the guy as well.
All right. Same. I assume you're aiming at the same guy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no, if Robar is shooting that guy, I'm shooting
Yeah,
the other guy.
yeah. Let's
Are you? So you are focusing on one, or you're splitting?
Splitting.
splitting our fire.
Okay. All right. So go ahead and make an attack on the one that you're firing at. Go ahead and make an attack there.
And as soon as those arrows, the bar is hauling in.
15. Do I hit?
That is a hit, and so does Robar's.
6.
Okay.
And 6.
And 6. Okay, very,
Nice.
very nice.
We high five.
This is all the synchronized swimming lessons have done a lot of good, I see. Okay, so you just they fall, they stagger back a couple of, and they sort of look around, and they're kind of looking, staring around, and then they look over and they see you. Now, what did you say you were doing, Tiny Bear? The minute what was this? You
The
said
second the arrow's loose,
Yeah.
I'm running in
okay. Let's see, 5, 10,
with the staff.
okay. So I think actually, which one are you running at?
Well, I don't think I can get to this guy, the guy on the right, but I should be able to just barely make it to this guy.
You are correct. Go ahead and do that. He catches sight of this large, like creature, like running at him out of the darkness, and he kind of has his bottle of wine, like whatever the heck it is, sort of to his left.
Grog.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try to take his head off with a staff
All right, let's do it. Make the attack.
because there's nothing quite like decapitating somebody with a staff. 8!
Wow. Okay. Well, wait. How about first you actually attack? Oh wait,
did.
that is your attack?
Yeah.
Well, I thought that was okay. Never mind. So somehow he does a little drunken master action, where you swing the staff and he sort of like underneath. So you clean miss, and he sort of looked. And now I will need the 3 of you to and actually give me a second. Let me see if I want.
Say the magic words.
Yes, I would like all 4 of you actually to roll initiative. So what that means for you, Amal, is you're going to roll a 20-sided die, and you're going to add to it the initiative score, which should be on the sheet.
Dexterity based.
It's dexterity based, right? So it should be on your sheet as a small little number.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Damn, wow, Tawny Bear, really? You're like, you're so
Wow.
stunned by your miss that it's still reverberating as you like spin around multiple times.
Shaking my staff, making sure that it's actually whole.
You're like, what happened? What's wrong with this thing? All right, let's see. So, right. Let me get rid of Ingar. Ingar's not coming to save you this time. Okay.
Or is he?
No, you. I don't know. Let's hope
He is
not
called
necessarily.
Ingar Longlegs. He can run pretty fast, I presume.
You should be able to just step across that.
Right, sure. That's exactly what it means.
Greg, do I roll an initiative for,
Do you roll initiative?
For
No, for the moment, no. It's going to be on
Okay.
your initiative, yeah.
Okay, cool.
I love that. They're like, what? Who? You'll understand all of this shortly. Just you wait. Okay. All right. Robar's got a 14. Let's see. Amal's also got a 14. Amal, what is your dexterity score? Just the raw stat score for your dexterity.
16.
16.
Yeah.
And Robar, what's yours?
Yeah, it's higher than mine. I've got a +2. She's got +3. Mine is 14.
Alrighty. Okay, and then let's find out what the bad guys. Let's find out when they go, shall we? Let's
roll -6.
let's see when they roll and get to go. Hey, what's up, Wolfram? How you doing, man? I am doing very well. I'm playing my favorite game with a lot of great people. So what is not to be
And
happy
me.
about?
So
I include you in the group, obviously. Okay, let's see. Oh, they rolled surprisingly well. I guess being attacked full on is enough for them to.
Sober up.
Yeah,
so
they're kind of like,
I've been in moments like that.
they-
You're really drunk and something
Whoa!
terrible happens. Suddenly you are stone cold sober.
you're like, I am with it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So let's do this. All right. They are going to go first. Let's get some. Okay, this music is good music for caves, but not good music for fighting. Let us get us some sound here. How about Firebrand? No, I used that last time. How about Death and Axes?
Ooh.
Ooh, that sounds
Appropriate.
brutal.
Good to me.
Sounds like my kind of music.
Yeah. Come on, Kevin McLeod.
Of Clan McLeod.
Kevin McLeod. All right, it's taking too long. Chase. Why is all my music failing me?
Go back to Death and Axes again.
There it is. There it is.
Or that.
Oh, is there a way for us to hear it too?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's on Roll20. If you click your.
Cog.
Yep.
I see. Jukebox?
There we go. Not jukebox. You should be able to turn up the main volume level.
That's right. The thing that I turned off that time.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about. That's more like it. Okay, here we go. So the orc soldiers move. Thank you for the follow, Sifu Storm. Welcome to the Argonauts. The rightmost orc, first of all, looks at you and sort of steps forward, several steps. Ah! And brings his. He picks up his short sword unsteadily from the ground first and his shield, and then staggers forward to attack you. Let's see. That is.
This is really good music.
This is excellent.
It's my boy Kevin McLeod again. This is good
This
stuff.
has King's Quest kind of vibe to it.
Yeah, it does. It's true. He has a bent sword that he's attacking with. You can see, and it is. He gets a
We call that a
21.
sec- actually.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, 21 to hit.
Yes, that will hit.
All right. 3 points of damage only.
It's okay. That's practically half my remaining hit points. So
You're fine. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna drop that just a little bit. Okay. Yeah, it really makes a difference, Vincent, for sure. Okay. And then he's going to stay right there. Let's have him not have that work like that. There we go. Okay. The second one has that. You remember the moment in The Princess Bride where the
Count Rugen.
yeah looks at him like with his sword and then turns and like bolts
sword
away.
over.
So that's basically what happens with this guy, except instead of doing that, he turns and seems to be running right towards that bell. But as he runs, Tawny Bear, you can try to do
Act of
something about that.
opportunity.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I am going to take his legs out from underneath him.
Oh, thank you, Kilobyte. Kilobyte has been inspired.
Okay.
Oh.
He's not playing, but
Well,
okay.
Tarrington is a minute. Bye, Killer.
I meant. Ah, thank
I
you.
thought, didn't we all have inspiration to begin
No,
with?
I don't because I needed mine last time to survive.
I might have used mine as well.
I believe both of you might have used yours.
I
Maybe
thought
not.
Thank you, Kilobyte.
Didn't we establish the precedent where we replace those at the end of every thing, at the end of the month, so that we
At the end of the month, but I think that might have been IAB, Tren. I don't know that was this campaign.
We should do that with this one because I have inspiration,
Mhm.
which I may.
Oh.
What is that sound?
All right, hold on. I got him.
Mike Static from Greg.
Oh.
Yeah, that's me. I got him.
Okay.
Oh, sound great now. Oh,
All right.
Sorry. There we go. Better.
That's what you get for tapping on it all.
Yeah, I know. Mike's just like, oh! Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, go ahead and make your attack, Tren.
And I will probably use my inspiration on this attack because
That seems reasonable.
To not ring this bell.
Are you specifying, by the way, the nature of this attack, Tawny Bear? Like, are you
I'm
just...
taking his legs.
All
out.
right, okay.
I
That's
don't
what I
want
figured.
him to ring that bell.
I am happy to answer those questions, Wolfram. And
Nice.
that's why inspiration matters. See? That's why inspiration matters. Nice. The nat 20. Okay. So maximum damage, and you're taking out his legs. As far as the, I wanted to say very quickly, B. Javin, he did actually pick up his shield, but he's only attacking with the sword that he already had in his hand. You may remember he had the sword and the wine. So he dropped the wine and picked up the shield. Not much use if he were defending against an attack, but he's only moving forward 5 feet. So that's why.
So that would be 6 plus 5 would be something 11.
Okay, 11 points of damage. Okay. Let's see. Fortunate. Okay. Not only do you take out his legs, you actually cause him to face plant. So Tawny Bear finally like, oh yeah, this is the thing, and gets the staff and just underneath, boosh, like knocks him out as he's going, and he basically lands painfully on his side, or at least it sounds painful. And underneath him, the wine, you hear the sound of a bottle smashing as he apparently landed right on top of it. So he is...
Straight up into his heart.
Basically, yeah. He right now is right here. He's basically in between squares, more or less. Yeah, you could definitely do that, Wolfram, for sure. Okay, so he is now on the ground, and there you go. Inga, you are up next. You see what the one orc is trying to apparently get to the bell and raise the alarm. The other one is attacking your compatriot.
Well, I shoot the dude who wants to ring the bell.
Okay.
Face.
Well, so he is on the ground at the moment, so if you're going to attack him with a bow, it's going to be a little harder to hit him.
Okay, then I shoot the other guy.
Okay. Yeah, not the wine! Exactly. It's vintage, too.
I guess this doesn't hit.
That is a miss. Again, Drunken Master, they sort of stagger out of the way accidentally as your bow hits. Are you going to stay where you are, Inga, or are you going to move up or move somewhere?
I'm gonna stay.
Okay. Tawny Bear. Oh, sorry, not Tawny Bear. You
I was
were...
like, what? No, I rolled a 1 on my initiative.
No, absolutely not. Not even close to being.
And we don't have an initiative tracker, by the way.
Right. Yeah, that's true. My bad. Sorry.
Which will probably reveal other things.
Yeah, let's get rid of that and let's alter this right now. Okay, so Inga had a 16. Let's see. Tawny Bear had a 2. That attack of opportunity, though, that was what you made it count, right?
I was relying on that. Oh man,
That was what mattered.
Relying on that.
Yep, big time. Okay, and then the only one I need to put in here is I need to, for now, and again, you will have a token that will be all official looking and all, but for the moment, let me pull up a... Okay, I swear to God, Roll20 is not going to bait me into another $4.95 purchase. Like, wouldn't this be perfect? No, would not be perfect.
It would
Nothing
be.
of it
You know
would
what
be...
perfect there. Give it to me for free.
Right, exactly. That would be the thing that's most perfect.
I'm a millennial now.
Wow. playing into the stereotype of I'm
How old are you again?
I can't remember anymore.
That's how long ago it was.
Just telling, yeah. 47.
okay. Sorry, Mal, give me 1 sec. I want to make sure I get you one that's reasonable.
Okay, so I have a question. How many of you play World of Warcraft?
I
Anybody?
played it
No?
when it came out. I was
mean,
13 back then.
have, yeah.
Okay.
What's
So,
up, bro? Hey, Rob, what's up, man?
so I don't always play a lot. I do love the cinematics. I think they're absolutely amazing. And the most recent one that shows Gen Greymane in all his werewolfy good. Oh my God! It's like, oh, it's my werewolf husbando. I'm telling you, it's just delightful. I love him to death.
You're so good at your job.
It's just the real him. He's talking about how great.
Oh, yeah, this
werewolves
is
are.
only
this
a-
is not acting.
This is the tip of the iceberg.
A very scary.
It's a slippery slope.
But I'm going to stop. My adjectives are going to go a little off the rails. I think I'll just stop and not describe that iceberg anymore. I think perhaps might be a good idea. Oh, good.
Why am I not able to find double axes? Anyway, I'm looking forward to actually giving you a token, because all the axes that I'm finding are wielded by males, and that's irritating the hell out of me. So I'm going to instead use...
Hey, she's gonna get a new icon next time. So.
Right, she's not that big.
That's an actual photo.
My character has 800 hit points and is a Greek god. Okay.
Cue the Wonder Woman theme.
Exactly.
The new
That's
one.
exactly right.
I was going to say which one, but
Yeah,
okay.
the new one with the cello.
I love cellos.
Okay. Now, what I've just done is I've given you control of that token, Amal, which means that you now should be able to move that character around.
Ooh, okay.
And so you can now move the character around. Now, I will explain for you what you hear as you were in actually a room to the southeast, about to speak to a character that you are all familiar with. I can't go into details, but you were speaking to someone that you might have been sent to find. Let's just put it that way, that you went looking for. And but then you heard this commotion and yelling and shouting coming from the northwest, basically, and that is where you presumably ran to find what you see going on here, which is this battle that's happening.
So I'm presumably like here-ish. Does that make sense?
That right. So you basically are. I would say, let's see, 5, 10. Yeah, put yourself maybe like 2 squares back, like right there where I just pinged.
Here?
All right, and then I'm going to give you as well.
Yeah.
Woo!
Behind, so you guys see running out of the darkness someone who's just about to describe herself, and you also see next to her what looks like this extremely large hound, like a wolfhound, very, very big, that is coming along, loping along beside this character. And Amal, you don't have to tell them yet who you are, but you could say what this person looks like.
So this person is of the race of men, women, but is a woman, and and is about 5'10", is wielding 2 axes, 2 hand axes, has long black hair braided behind her, and has brown skin, blue eyes, black hair, and is looking a little curious and confused by what is happening.
Fair enough.
The dog is vast. The dog is vast and gray like stone.
Okay. Quickly goes to find Gray.
Oh, sorry.
I knew that entirely. Gray, right? Gray is what you see. Totally gray. Not.
That's a dinosaur.
Clearly a wolfhound too.
It's actually called a gargoyle hound in Roll20, but it will.
Oh.
It's close enough for rock and roll at the moment.
Oh, so it's Bronx from the Gargoyles, right?
Yeah, there you go.
He's adorable.
Pretty much exactly.
I knew Trendon was the first one to comment on this.
Okay, let's see. Stone. Let's show the nameplate. Controlled by Amal. Okay, and I'll give you control over him as well. Okay.
Reminded of one of my favorite scenes. I don't remember any explosions in Bambi. Sorry.
There we go. There's stone in the river. Good, lovely, wonderful,
Wrong cartoon.
outstanding. There's stone. Okay. All right. So you are now able to take your turn, the River. I'm just going to call you River instead of calling you the all the time. So you're able to take your turn now, River, and you've got the two characters in front of you. What you see is a large, burly, much larger than a human, with a staff, who is got sort of a smug expression on his face, looking down at a face-planted orc. Which is, is just sort of facing down on the ground right about here. And then behind is another orc, which is not face planted and which is looking very angrily at this large creature. Behind, you think you see possibly in the distance two other characters, but not very clearly.
Okay. Cool. I just want to double check that you haven't told me. Can you give me some information in private about what I've got behind me?
Yes. Yes.
So I know what my priorities are.
Yeah.
Secret things. I feel like I should start typing now just to be included.
Yeah.
I'm gonna type to Twitch chat.
Okay.
Loudly.
I keep thinking I should get a mechanical keyboard, not actually plug it in. Just keep it next to me so that occasionally I can just.
That's it, man.
Okay, so
What's up, Cyphers?
what? Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry, I'm talking to people. Some people
No,
come in and
all
say
good.
hi. So
Not like we're important or anything.
Okay, so I think what River's going to do is the guy who's face planted. Does he look like he's going to be able to get up, or does he look like he's down for the count?
it's hard to say because you're just arriving. He looks like he's moving, so he's not unconscious. And
Okay.
you also are able to notice, without even doing a check because you're staring right at him, you can also see a rather large iron bell not far from where he lies. So
Okay, so what River's going to do is close this. She should be able to run up to this guy fairly quickly, right?
yes, she could actually get to either one.
Okay, so my thought here is to have her run and strike this the guy. Can you actually see my arrow, or am I just pointing at nothing? I don't know.
Hold. And again,
Yeah, hold it down.
So this guy.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
So she's going to run and strike this one with an axe. But I was wondering if her ability to dual wield meant she could do that and throw an axe at this guy, or not.
No, dual wield is going to be a melee thing. I guess because yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Okay. So
Although I should say, let me make one note about that. The way that we'll do that is you can throw these, but you can throw one of them, not both. So you can either throw one as an attack or dual wield melee, but not mix it, if you follow what I mean.
I think so. Okay. So okay, what she's gonna do then is attack this guy with both axes, and then just kind of stand there to put herself between this guy and the bell.
Okay.
The other guy. Oh,
Okay.
sorry.
So you're attacking the one that's on the ground. Am I right about that? Okay. Okay. So go ahead and move your character up to, and go ahead and position your character where you want to be. Like if you want to be right, like if you want to be between him and the bell, that would be here. If you want to, yeah, you can just make that. Okay.
Now, because the character is prone and she's attacking melee, she gets
advantage. Yep. Yeah, she does. That and the fact that he's drunk and face down and wondering what happened in the last 10 seconds of his life. So yes.
Where'd my legs go?
So now what you're going to do, here is, let me turn you around. What you're going to do is you're going to make 2 rolls. You're going to roll D20, and then you're going to add, I think we said 3. So you're going to basically make 2 attacks with your axes. Each attack, though, is going to be an advantage, which means when you make an attack, you'll see that No, I guess that's not
She
going to work
won't
for her.
because she's not using.
Yeah,
the
she's not
secret.
using it. So you're basically
Sorry.
just going to roll twice, and you're going to take the higher result in
Okay.
each case. That's what advantage means.
And it's 1d20 plus 3.
Right.
Cool. So there's 1.
Okay.
And
Nice.
That's a good
there's-
start.
Since you're rolling an advantage, do it again. You're going to roll 4 times ultimately.
Wow.
Okay.
Very consistent. Very
Great.
consistent.
That's your
Okay.
first attack.
That's a 19. That's a hit.
Okay.
Go ahead and make that attack first before we figure out what's going on with the second one. So go ahead and do your damage for that. So that's going to be, I think we said 1d6.
Yeah.
So you're going to roll just a 6-sided die. No extra damage associated with that.
Plus her, what type of weapon does she have?
She has a hand
hand
axe, and you should
Yeah,
explain.
So plus her strength bonus if she has one.
She doesn't. She has
She
0.
doesn't. Yeah.
Okay.
No, so what she basically does is she's got 2 axes and she wields them in battle kind of at the same time. So this is,
I
she's
love
very,
her already.
they're not, they'll be smaller axes than yours, Tari, but
They're
they are,
axes. That's all that matters.
but yeah, she definitely seems to have a kind of weird fluid technique or fighting style here. So 1d6
You should get an axe like this one.
and then
oh, you want to go?
another d6.
So what happens here is, so that was the 1d6 on the 1 axe hit.
Yeah.
The reason I had you do that attack first is because you see this character run up, this woman come up and just fluidly drop on the way down, almost slides in between the soldier and the wall, and then just brings the axe down thunk, in his back, and he goes hurt, and then lies still.
He literally got an axe. That's so amazing.
Yeah. He
Sorry.
literally was axed.
No, I was literally watching.
Oh, she
her.
literally got an axe. Oh,
Oh, yes. I love it.
super awesome.
you.
Although the one
Terry
she's
and I were
using is even
comparing
smaller. That's pretty badass.
Yeah,
though.
that's why Terry and I were comparing axes. That's why.
Yeah, that's badass. Yeah, check that out. Wow.
Oh man.
See, that's pretty awesome. All right, well
I
those.
used to have 2 of them, but the head broke off the other one.
So the axe
I
is
would
in
like
the
one
back.
like Tren has. I like those ones.
Yeah,
That's
those
what
are
I'm
pretty sweet.
imagining from now on.
So he
Okay.
lies completely dead. You have clearly killed him. And so where you were standing, if you had been within melee range, you could have actually tried to attack that second soldier, like the second
Right.
orc, but you're too far away to do that. And I said you can't mix those together. So
I
instead,
can't
you just do
throw it.
something awesome and so on.
However,
Now you can move stone, but you can't attack with stone as we talked about because you
Okay.
already did your attack. But you
Yeah.
can move stone if you like.
Yes. Stone is gonna come over here.
Sounds like an Aerosmith song.
There we go.
Okay, so this large dog lopes over. Okay,
Growling.
yeah, I was gonna say I hope so. Okay, Robar, you just saw this orc go down and this mysterious
sorry.
figure enter into the screen. Yeah, go ahead.
While attacking. Oh wait, no, we're not trying to draw attention. Never mind.
Okay.
I was gonna say something inspiring, but no, that's fine.
Okay.
getting
Okay.
to
Trying to be
the
stealthy here.
Yes. All right, so that leads us to Robar. Robar, you just saw this new person enter the scene and take out that orc, along with Tawny Bear's taking
Yeah.
out its legs. So there's one left, which is looking very nervous.
Then I will shoot him
Okay.
in his face.
Shoot him!
Shoot him! Take him down! With disadvantage, it's still a 21 for 10 damage.
Okay. Wow, that is quite a strike. Okay, you stagger it. It looks very hurt. You know, it drops its wine, looks down, seems angry that it's lost the wine, also that it's been hit in the face by an arrow. Sort of staggers back, growls at you angrily. Robar, are you staying
still
where you are,
alive.
or are you?
Yeah, I will, yeah.
Okay, Tawny Bear,
Is it
you
10?
you see
Is
a
it
very
10
badly
or 10
injured
plus
orc.
5?
What's that? Say again.
Well, because roll 20 says 10 plus 5, so is it 10 damage or 15?
The 5 is the extra crit dice, but I actually rolled
Oh.
a 21, so
Okay.
it's 10,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I get. Okay. Well, since it is now finally my turn,
Also, you don't have disadvantage that I know of, Robar. That's just on ability checks, not on attacks. So
You're right, yeah.
So it's just a normal attack.
Yeah, I'm just first level exhaustion.
so I'm gonna see if I can decapitate this guy with my stick.
Okay. That'll be quite a hit.
I've done it before.
Yeah.
10.
Ooh, miss. Yep.
Did you guys skip
aim-
me? Did you guys skip
No,
me?
you shot at it. You remember? It
Okay.
drunken mastered out of the way.
Okay.
You drunken mastered. You go right after the orc does.
You, me, then Will, then Tawny Bear.
Yep.
We
Oh, I
had a
went
surprise
first,
there.
actually.
Yeah, you
Okay.
went first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought
You
I
just
was
forgot
after
because it's been
Will.
such an
No,
active
I thought I
turn.
was after. I thought I was after.
Nope.
After Robart.
Nope, it's Tawny Bear and then the orc and then you. Speaking of Tawny Bear, are you moving or are you staying where you are, Tawny Bear?
No, I'm gonna stay right here.
Okay. So he
if I
looks
move,
kind of
he's
like very nervous and looks at you and then again does the count thing and basically bolts this way. So you can get a swing in on him as he goes.
Which way is he going?
He's going this way, so he's
Okay.
heading straight that direction.
Well, I'm gonna try to take his legs out from underneath.
Okay. Yeah, you seem to be very good at that.
Yeah, it's just I'm aiming too high is the
Right, that's
problem.
all.
Both times that I've tried to do this, I miss.
The
because I'm
to-
aiming for their head.
The tokens are brought to you by our own extraordinarily talented Terry Tunes, Wolfram. She actually did them.
11.
11 is a miss, I'm afraid.
So he got a little out of my range before I.
Let's see. So he basically bolts, and you notice that he's running. He seems to be trying to keep a wide berth of the dog, and he's running at a pretty good pace. Gets to about there. Okay, Inga.
Woo. Okay, so I shoot the guy that is running away.
Okay, yep, you can do that.
Cool, cool, cool.
Wow.
Amazing.
Critical hit. Wow, you guys are super impressive today. You're like, what's up? only Robar has trouble staying on ledges, but otherwise, everyone is
Other
just.
than that, I wasn't.
This is
Okay.
the situation where
So,
Inga just kind of like draws the bow and she smiles over at Robar and just lets
Not
go.
even looking. Yeah, exactly. Okay.
So what? I think I do double damage. Let me check.
No, you do max damage. So complete
max
max damage. So max damage is
That
You
would
just
be
double the dice, right?
max damage.
No,
That would be 8.
okay.
1d6 plus 2.
Yeah,
that
so
would be
he was already not in good shape. You strike him in the back of the head. He pitches forward, lands on his face, and lies still. And I won't say an eerie silence, but instead, because there is in the distance the sound of clapping and heard it in the goblins in the part, and that drunken sound, but there is now silence in this corridor. And we'll stop the chase music for now.
Well, then Tawny Bear will just kind of be like,
River stands up from where she killed the goblin and says, I don't know who any of you are, but I have a chained up hobbit down this way that probably needs more help than I can give. Will you come and assist?
Yeah, we're
That
looking
might be
for
the
that
hobbit
guy.
we are looking for.
wait,
Yeah.
you chained up a hobbit?
No.
Well done. No, well done. He deserves it.
River looks vaguely amused by this and goes, no.
Oh, you didn't capture him? Oh.
No.
It was
Can
like
we
that when I
leave the
found
chains on
him.
He was in fact like that when I found him. Do I, Lore Master, do I know, is the way that I came in a way that we can take out quickly? Or?
Well, there's only one route where you're coming from. There's not branching tunnels like into the room where Dindi is. But I don't. Oh, you mean like in terms of getting rid of him? Well, for that you're gonna have to. In terms of like getting him out. In terms of getting him out, you're gonna have to do that though. You'll have to see what happens when you get in there because the chaining is specific. Is a particular way that he's restrained.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do I know this?
Yes.
okay.
You just saw it, and then you heard
Okay.
this commotion, so you literally just found him.
Okay, cool. So,
All right. Can you take us to him?
Yes, absolutely. This way.
So, wait. Who are you?
Is that important right now? You can call me the River. That's what everyone does.
Your parents really didn't like you, did they?
We'll come back to this.
Okay.
To the Hobbit, then.
All right. So if you want to lead the way, this is what you see as you begin to
and more hum.
move down.
Yeah, it's coming from you, Terry. You got your loose wire problem again.
Yeah, I just turned it up again. No, it's my computer readjusts the boost from a microphone automatically, and I have to like put it back up every 5 minutes or so,
Okay.
which is slightly annoying.
Please, by the way, ignore the numbers. They are completely irrelevant and do not at all key to anything I'm looking at. You just see a large number 2 in the middle of the floor. And I
It's
don't
an
mean
orc
that the way.
thing.
Yeah,
They
I
don't
know.
make sense.
Okay.
Ha ha. Poop
So,
joke.
This room is called G.
okay.
That's a 2, you bastard.
Okay. So, let's see. Well, thank you for the host, Malau the monkey. Welcome to the Argonaut. Welcome to the channel. Okay. So, when you guys come into this room, assuming you want to move them all there, you can actually see. You can actually see as you move in here that there is a set of. There are provisions stacked everywhere here. Boxes, foodstuffs, dried meats, barrels, bottles of wine, all kinds of things here. In fact, you see a couple things which you think you might have seen in the hill fort before you actually left there before. You see a bunch of that there. You also see in the middle here a roaring fire. Hold on, let me highlight it for you. Right here, there's a roaring fire with a spit and a stove on it, basically hanging from the spit. There are a bunch of pots and pans. There's a spice rack. There's all kinds of other sorts of things, like big one, like on the corner. And it's all sort of jumbled. And then in the middle of it all, sitting right here, is what looks like a very miserable Dinidus who is busily chopping potatoes. And as you come in, you see him sort of like chop. Doesn't even notice when you first come in.
Who's Dinidus?
That's Dindi.
Is that short for Dinidus?
Yes, Dindi is short for Dinidus.
Oh,
What is
I
his,
learned a thing.
What's his last name? Do we know?
Brandybuck.
Brandybuck.
Brandybuck, that's right. Right, River's going to approach him and say, Dinidus Brandybuck.
And he looks up and he says, yes, that's my... Oh, hello. How are you?
All the better for seeing you. I've come to rescue you, and these people have come to help as well.
Oh, that's lovely. And then he sort of, his face falls and he says, well, it's a pleasure for you to try to rescue me, but I think it's quite impossible. Look. And he holds up his hairy foot, and you can see that there is actually an iron ring around his leg, and then there's a chain that extends from that all the way to the wall behind him. So basically extends all the way.
How thick is a chain?
So if you want to go over and take a look at it.
I do.
This is not standard goblin work. As you know, goblins are sort of cheap, like... worse than IKEA, you know what I'm saying? Like really low quality, very low quality stuff. This is not that. This chain looks to be incredibly old, maybe ancient mannish steel. It looks to be forged steel. There is no way you are going to be able to break it. Like, no chance. Maybe if you had a team of dwarves working for a couple of days, but this thing is not going to be sawed into. This is clearly something that the goblins did not make. They must have found it somewhere.
I take a look at the wall where the chain is put in.
It is embedded into, it is attached to an iron ring, which is itself embedded into the wall.
How thick is
And
his
the wall
ankle?
is rock, right?
And say again, the wall. That's right. The wall is rock. Yep.
Well, I take out my mason's tool and remove the ring from the wall.
Well,
Can I do that?
No, it doesn't look like it. This thing looks like it was built. First of all, these things that are stacked around the outside clearly are not part. There, by the way, is Dindi. The chain, the provisions around the outside look like they were relatively recently added. They look to be basically from all over the place. If you had to guess, you think these may have been like stolen by the goblins or something, but they've all been stacked and placed in different spots around here. But the chain itself looks like it's been in this room for centuries, like if you had to guess. There is a lock on the end of the chain around his the bar. I mentioned that iron ring around his foot, and there is a lock that's attached to it.
And the lock itself can't be broken? Is the lock part of the chain?
The lock is part of the chain. And as I say, in a style that is not something you are familiar with, certainly. Like it's, and he says, the chief goblin locked me here. They demand that I cook them a feast. and they think that I'm the pudding. And he kind of weeps a little bit, and then you see he's sort of, and then he kind of like, he's like cut himself slightly with the knife. It's like, a damn knife. And he
Looks
says,
like a
I'm sorry,
candy.
I shouldn't have sworn. It's just, I don't like cutting potatoes, even when Dodi makes me do it. Why did I ever leave the inn in the first place?
It
I
looks
don't know.
We're gonna have to leave him, guys.
Yeah, I
Or
think
we
so
take
too.
off his foot at the ankle.
So the minute you say that, he literally faints. He's just like, and falls over and just faints, like dead away.
River looks at Tawny Bear and says, "It's a bit bloodthirsty off the bat, isn't it?"
Well, it did shut him up.
Have you met him before?
No, I can't say I have.
Okay,
Have
so yes,
Yeah,
we
no.
have.
Wait,
He's better when
did
he's
you
up.
actually? Are you here to actually rescue him?
Yes,
That's
we
right.
are.
Funny how that works.
Bravo.
Wait, who sent you, by the way?
I just heard that that a hobbit had gotten himself captured by goblins and decided to come and see what I could do to help.
You volunteered to help Dindi?
I mean, I wasn't acquainted with him, but yes, he needed help. I mean, isn't that what any decent person would do?
Oh yes, that's what we. Yeah. No, we
I
were
guess
hired by his
they
brother
would.
to find him.
That's not what any decent person would do. That's what extraordinarily decent people do.
Oh, that's awfully kind. But let's turn to the matter at hand. Maybe we should actually introduce ourselves, seeing as we have to work a little longer than I thought we would. I'm the River. I'm sorry. Let me start that again. I'm the River of. She is not going to mess up how this is pronounced, but Rosgal. What is it called?
Roscobel?
The woodman place where Radagast lives.
Roscobel.
Yeah, Roscoe.
Roscobel. Yes, I'm the River of Roscobel.
How
And-
can you be a river?
It's just what people call me. That's how we speak of each other in the woods, or at their edge, rather. My people are the woodmen.
Okay. Well, first of all, pleasure to meet you. My name is Inge, a daughter of Ida. At your service.
Tawny Bear.
To each-
Robar Staunton.
Well met. So, what are we going to do here? It's not possible to yank this chain from that wall. I'd rather not cut off his foot.
At when you say I'd rather not cut off his foot, you see him. I had a terrible dream that someone was going to cut off my foot.
And
Is it-
immediately Tawny Bear's hand goes and shh.
Oh, sorry. Suddenly you hear coming from the east, there is a tunnel that extends out, and I'll show it to you, that extends out this way. And echoing down the tunnel, you hear what is a guttural voice, possibly a goblin voice, yells out, "Oi! Where's our dinner? Hurry up, we're starving!"
I look into the round and make this one, and point backwards that we are, pointing that we are supposed to hide now, because I'm assuming that goblins are gonna come this way soon, and we can just pick them up one by one, I suppose.
He says, no, there's far too many. You don't understand. There's hundreds of them in there. They when I first came in, it was just like a sea. They're all excited because they've been doing all these raids, and they say that there's some news coming, and they won't tell me what, and besides they're drunk and I can't really understand them, but they said that I needed to cook them food, and they're waiting for their dinner. That's why I'm
Indeed.
cooking these potatoes. Wait, you! And she points at you, and he points at you, Inga. Inga, you, dwarf, you could cook for them. Bring us that dinner, we told you.
Oh,
I have an
God.
idea.
There's a spice rack and everything. Now we have to.
No.
Tawny Bear.
Dindi, you are gonna play along. You do not know that we are here. And we can, do we have any, let's have a look around. Maybe we can find something with which we can, poison the food for the goblins?
Exactly.
Or, sleep, at least make them sleepy, or give them
Exactly what
diarrhea
I'm-
or something.
I was going to say I'm not sure about the good adventurer poisoning thing, but but certainly finding stuff that you could season, that might be a possibility. So Dindi says, "Oh yeah, I know some that. But wait, before you do that, if you don't bring them at least the appetizer, well, look, and he points and you see that, so he's been doing these potatoes, and you see that right now the stove actually has bubbling above the spit, and there's, you see little potatoes and what looks like maybe carrots, and then an occasional indeterminate piece of meat sort of pops above the surface, and he says, I don't know what the meat is. I didn't ask any questions, but they said they wanted this as their appetizer. So, I've got this. And at this point, you look behind you, Robar, because he's pointing, and you see that there is like a set of pots sort of laid out, like 3 of them that are all, I should say, not pots, but like Dutch ovens. Yeah, basically pots. Huge pots, though, each of which is filled with this kind of bubbling mixture that obviously is already done, or seems to be. And he says, they said they'd come and pick it up just at the entrance. Maybe if you just bring it over there. Hobbit, you'll be next if you don't get that bloody appetizer to us. Oh, that's what I said. Oh, give me that wine and appetizer. And then they start singing again.
River looks thoroughly disgusted.
We're
Well,
gonna move this. We should do it quickly.
we should do it fast and buy ourselves.
Let's
some
do it
time.
fast as possible. Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
All right, so you so where do you want to line up? Now you could like, how far down basically do you want to go, or do you want to look this passageway? In here, by the way, because of the fire, you can see reasonably well within here, but obviously the passageway gets a little dark again. So.
Okay.
If we put the thing here,
Yeah.
then Tawny Bear can then scooch back and hide in here. And
Yes.
if they don't come any further than this spot to get to the pot, then they won't see him right away.
That's right.
I want to
Yeah.
go check on the dead orcs from the entrance.
Okay.
Like maybe they have like I doubt they have the keys on them, but just to like double check, I guess.
And I should say that I mentioned the spice rack. There are tons and tons of different kinds of foods and,
Oh, I'm just going to be checking that.
Yeah.
Believe.
Okay, so you're checking the orcs. On the orcs, you only find basically just the weapons that they had, Inga, which were these 2 bent swords. They're probably worse than your weapons. They do have a couple of these wooden shields. However, you do notice that the clothing that the orcs was wearing could possibly be made to fit you if you needed it to. That is to say, you could kind of cover yourself over and pass as a vaguely convincing goblin if they were drunk and not paying close attention. That's probably too small, though, for Robar. I mean, it would look kind of silly on him, so you'd have to... And Tawny Bear, obviously, it would fit his arm, maybe. So yeah.
Well then.
And also the river too big for the river be too big for it also.
So
Brief flashback that as Inga was heading out, Tawny said, "Grab the unbroken bottle of wine."
yes. Okay.
Okay.
So first thing I do is that I like grab the orc one by one and drag him into the corner over here.
Okay. All right, you
And
can
then
do that.
I disguise myself as an orc, I suppose, or
Okay.
goblin, or what it was.
Can you please do that before you return to the larder? I just want to make sure you're disguised before your party sees you. Just 'cause it'll be
Yes,
fun.
yes. That was the point.
Okay, good.
That's-
All right.
Well, like while they are doing the thing with the food, I am like dressing up. That's the
Got it.
idea.
Okay. What are you guys? So, Tawny Bear, are you hiding yet, or are you helping with the?
No, we're
food?
going to move the pot first.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Then
move the
Tawny
pot.
Bear's going to move where he is.
Okay. Go ahead and can you mark little? Will, you could do this. Just maybe draw little X's where you're going to actually put the pots,
Sure.
like in the passageway.
Where do you want to put these?
And also, I can show you as you get a little
Like-
closer that
like
you can
here?
see the hallway bends, so you can it goes like
Oh,
this.
okay, so we can actually put them a little farther in.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
So let's put them like over here.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh god.
All right.
You
You have to move the lines
There we
separately. I
go.
know. Oh god, roll 20. Never change. All right. Right, you're able to, and I can actually reveal the rest of this.
Well, yeah.
Don't be cute. Okay. So
If
now I
we've
think you guys
come-
can see the entire room.
If we've come to this point, can we see to this point? Can we see any farther down this tunnel?
Yes. In fact, just peering around, what you see down here. You
Because
see those?
I mean,
Oh, go ahead.
presumably, River has come. Like, I'm not sure how River has gotten to the point where she was.
That's a good point, because River's not sure how River got exactly to where she was.
Okay.
You know that there was basically a section off to the east of where you're now looking into. So basically, there was a passageway off here that you found yourself in after, not unlike the party that you just heard. There's a passageway off east, and then there was a passageway to the south. The passageway to the east had a little passageway, another little passageway that led to a massive room in which there was a lot of sound of feasting and everything else. You had avoided that room when you came in, but you got here much the way the party did, which is you had to kind of stumble around and sort of, it was a struggle to get to this point. So yeah, you have not been much other than just this particular area of the map. And these creatures down here, these were not here when you first passed through, but there are now 2 more of these. Let me put them. 1 second. Chat sees something you don't see. All right. Right. Good. You saw nothing, chat. You saw nothing at all. Okay. So there are 2 of these guys, and they are not, in fact, hobgoblins. Okay. There we go. You see 2 of these guys, just like the ones that you just killed. These ones, though, are sort of staring. They look, if anything, they kind of look bored. And they're sort of looking around. These do not, however, look sloshed like the guys at the entrance. They seem much more, stable. So,
it's a terrible sight for a sober man, that is.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've deposited the food. I think so. There's no the lock itself that Dindi. The lock that needs to be opened and stuff. Does it look like something that we could also try to pick or to unlock?
Very unlikely. The lock itself looks as if, frankly, you would need to have a much, much more experienced person in the unlocking of these things. It would take hours and hours. It seems like a very complicated lock. Again, this is clearly not their make. They just found it and are using it. And in fact, this room clearly was not intended to be a kitchen or whatever the heck it is at the moment. And as you sort of draw back after having placed the pots, you hear, "Oh, I smell something. Is that the food finally?" Well,
I just kind of elbowed Dindi, like,
Dindi.
Yes, he says, kind of in a high. Yes, that's the food. And you notice that the chain is a very long chain, so it actually could extend to that spot if he were to walk up. He's like, yes, that's fine. The food's right there. It's just what you wanted. And then you see, are you guys, Robar, the rest of you, are you guys staying where you are, or
just moved where I'm going?
River wants to
River.
So like, oops. What happened? Yes, that's a good spot. No, wait, that's me. Sorry.
Sorry.
I was like, that's a very good spot for you to have gone. I think off to the side here. She also wants to be looking around for things to, like, that could be of use in cooking or poisoning. Yeah.
Got it. I will deal with that in a second. Where are you putting Stone?
Oh, right. Stone is going to stay close to her over here.
Okay. All right. And you guys actually make it into cover none too soon, because walking up to the corner, you see these mean-looking orc soldiers. It's about time. This stuff better be good, because if not, the boys will be hungry for you even faster. And they start clapping each other on the back like they said something really clever and and witty. And then they each pick up the pot, and they turn around and kind of stagger off and roll out the barrel. They're sort of just, as they walk downwards. And after maybe a minute or so passes, you hear this great roar go up from the hall, which presumably is the appearance of the food, which has emerged there. So, okay. That is what you see. Inga, where are you still getting dressed, or what are you doing?
If the time was enough, then I'm dressed now.
Okay, so where are you heading back into?
Well, I'm listening in first, whether or not I can hear the goblins running around.
You do
there.
not now.
Okay, so I go into the room and look around.
Okay. All right. And now, are you guys now departing from your hiding places, or are you? What are you going to do next? Dindy's
Yeah.
like, I think they're gone. I think they're
We've
gone.
got some time,
Yes,
but not a
let's-
lot.
Let's just kind of be able to talk to each other.
The three of you, before you go on, the three of you should make, please, a perception check for me. And Amal, for that, that's going to be a D20, and then you're going to add your perception bonus to that. So if you look on your sheet,
wisdom modifier.
yeah, it's your wisdom modifier. But if you have
no.
if you have perception, if your perception is proficient, which means if there's a
Right.
little circle is like colored next to it.
It's okay. It's not. So it's just wisdom.
But it's actually +1 because remember you're a jack of all trades, so you
Oh,
get a
that's
benefit
right.
to all skills. So.
I keep forgetting that. Okay, so it's +3 in total then.
Yep.
Okay, great. So 1d20 +3.
That's it. Oh,
No!
you're really looking for food, Amal. You're like, River is like really occupied looking for like, there's some lovely filth down here. You know, like really just concentrating on.
I love how the actual like dice visualization meant that it rocked back and forth on that axis between 13 and 1 for a bit, but oh well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Great.
Let's see. My browser doesn't support WebGL necessary for showing 3D graphics. What? The browser supports WebGL, you nonsensical. Okay, anyway, I'll deal with that. I'll deal with Firefox later. Okay.
I'll deal with you later.
So you do not see, but Tawny Bear and Robar clearly see what looks like an orc making its way around. Tawny Bear, you're like, oh, it's an orc, but Robar,
Grabbing
you're
a
like,
pot and getting ready to hurl it.
and also Dindi is just like, like as sees you. Robar, though, you can clearly see that the way this moves is not the way an orc moves. In fact, it moves much too sturdily, much too solidly, and you're like, you know what? That looks like a dwarf to me in orc clothing. So, yeah.
Oh, hey guys!
Is that,
River turns around and goes,
is that you in there, Inga?
No, totally not.
If it's not, I have to kill you.
Try me, man.
Okay, it's Inga. Right. Okay, this brilliant deception. How are we going to use it to our advantage?
I have no idea yet, but I thought just in case.
So, if there's no way to get him out, and there's no way to fight all of these people, all these goblins, I should say, then we are in fact going to cook for them. And I don't think that I could cook for them in good conscience unless I were cooking their death.
Oh, I can.
Wow. Okay. No, I guess we could try and kill him. Tawny Bear, you got any poisons just lying around?
A great roar goes up again from the hall of laughter. Someone must have told a joke.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to practice my goblin voice.
No, yeah. we need some work on that.
You know, after the battle, I
Splendid joke.
basically swore that I would be a pacifist. I'm not going to kill them, but I will cook up something that can put them to sleep.
Okay.
We'll
What
make
if you
them
make
like
it,
puke or
and then
something.
what if we added in the poisonous ingredients? Would that be fine?
As long as I don't know about it, I suppose that's...
All right, then we won't do that, guys. Okay, let's find something super deadly.
Does any one of you know any good goblin names, just in case I need to fake my identity?
What was the name of that captain that we killed back there? They might not know he's dead. Oh wait, no, I threw his head around.
Well,
It's likely they know him.
his name was Ubhurs.
Ubhur, so something
right.
like that.
So I'm gonna be up his, yes.
Up his, yeah.
Ubhis. That'll be great. That'll work really well.
Up yours would also
With
work.
a Z. With a Z. It's UBHURZ. So that was HU.
That was an unfortunate name. They didn't think that one for it.
Much
He
better
really
than what
deserved his fate just for his name, really.
I was going to recommend Thurston Thickspittle, but I think of his is much better.
No, it's
We are
Warren.
all adults
Warren
here.
Fitzgerald. Thurston Oddbottle. Anyway.
Okay. There is, as you notice, by the way, River, as you're looking through these things, you notice that there are a lot of, especially on the spice rack, there are a lot of these spices, and some of them, now you are not particularly familiar, I don't think, with cooking, unless there's a part of your background that I missed.
No.
But
He is a Jane of all trades.
yeah, that's true. That's true. But you do know that some of these, there's one area, it's a huge spice rack. I mean, like, it looks as if they must have raided this from somewhere and somehow carried this more or less intact, like, you know, with all of these bottles on it down here. And so on the far right of the top shelf, there are a set of what look like very, if you had to describe them, you'd say angry red colored herbs of different kinds in bottles. There are a few of them. There's some which look like more standard, like you might recognize some kind of maybe turmeric or something like that. But this you don't really know what these are, but they look very, very red and peppery.
What about these? Do any of you know about these? It just kind of brings them to the rest of the posse. Specifically looking at Tawny Bear slightly quizzically.
Yes, Tawny Bear, you actually can make a... Do you have the cooking specialty, Tawny Bear, or no?
Would you be surprised if I did?
No.
Um,
Because you made him that way, so I don't know. I don't remember if you did.
I think so. I thought that kind of came with the twice baked honey cakes thing.
Yeah, I don't remember. While you're taking a look, Dindi says, "Oh, that'll be good. That's just the kind of stuff to keep them sort of hot foot, you know, or hot tummy, or hot feet, like my feet were when I was close to the fire, and that time when I almost lost my life back there."
River pats him on the head in a way that she
thank
hopes is more comforting than
Thank you.
condescending.
Thank you.
There.
Sorry, it's
all right.
been kind of a difficult month, really.
We're going to get you out of here, Dindi. Don't worry.
He sort of smiles at you gratefully as you see potato peels just covering his feet. And any luck, Dren?
First, I'm trying to figure out where it would be.
Yeah.
I mean, I found the twice baked honey cake things.
Well, in the meantime, what you can do is...
You've been shown the secrets of baking such cakes, so I presume I would know.
A particular specialty gets just called cooking. But let's see. What we'll do is I'll have you make... let's have you make a medicine check for this. And I'll have you do it at... I'll have you do it at advantage because I think you would know. These are not incredibly exotic.
Can I help on that if I've got yeah, can I help on that?
Not really, because I'm using this as kind of a it's kind of a stand-in for cooking.
Gotcha.
So it's not really a medicinal check. I mean, you can confirm that they're not medicinal herbs for sure.
Okay.
Yes, you do actually know exactly what this is called. It is called red flour, and red flour is more or less what you give the person who says, whatever, nuclear buffalo wings are nothing to me. Like, red flour is way, way, way hotter. And
So it's what you'd use when you were cooking for me. Got it. Okay.
right. Yes. Exactly. X5, that is some construction going on in Mall's
sorry.
office. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. That's what that noise is. So that's what that is. No, it's fine. He was just curious. Okay. So yes. So that's what it is, Tawny Bear.
Okay.
And there looks like a good. I mean, like, it's a big bottle of it. So.
Well, you thought of it, I say.
Actually, that's precisely what I was going to recommend.
Good man.
But whoever's going to bring it to them needs to do a very good orc or goblin impersonation, because you will have to make sure that you, well, by you, I mean whoever takes it to them, informs them that it has been made extra spicy for the truly courageous, and that if they can't handle it, it's proof they're cowards.
Oh, I see. Yes, that's a good idea.
While you guys are talking, Robar, make a perception check for me, please.
Sure thing. That's a not 20.
Wow.
Nice.
So there you go. You
See through time.
You see a set of barrels. I mentioned that there were a lot of these barrels. So you see a lot of barrels that are lined up over on, there we go, over here, basically. On this corner, they are lined up next to each other, and you can see more of them up here. But you notice that some of the barrels have had the tops, stove in, like they've had the, axes have been used to chop open the tops. You can see that a couple of them have ladles sort of hanging off the sides. But as you go over to look at them, a couple of the barrels look to be like they have different liquid. And it looks as if the barrels next to each other, one might be, if you had to guess just by scent, wine, and some might be water. And there are little barrels in front in which there seems to be a mixture. If you had to guess, it almost looks as if someone has been taking, wine and water, mixing them and putting them in the smaller barrels in front. Because the wine that you smell in the full wine barrel is so strong that you're almost overcome by the fumes. Like, it's really strong wine of some kind.
I'll call out. They've been watering down the wine here, guys.
Well, that's just wrong.
If you can call it wine.
Yeah, it's like
whatever goblins drink is rot gut horrorness.
At best. All right, Dindi, come here.
Jesus.
This is what I want you to do.
Yes,
And
yes. He comes over with the chain trailing from him.
Get him some of the orc gloves.
Okay.
From the dead orc. Put these on while you're working with this stuff. You don't want it on your fingers.
Oh, yes, I've heard just that. And he puts the gloves on.
And so chop it up nice and fine, put it into the mix with everything else.
And the gloves, of course, are, sort of like he's using oven mitts, to try to chop them. Okay.
And when you're done, put the gloves into.
And he sort of says, all right, then. And he kind of gives you a confused look. Actually, he should be up here. He gives you a confused look and then turns and goes back.
Talk about eating men and orcs and goblins and eating everything. They don't have the most delicate palates in the world.
And he nods. He's like, oh, yeah, I understand. Seems like the kind of thing they'd want, I suppose. And so he chops. You notice that he chops actually fairly quickly, even with oven mitts on, basically. Will, one of the rings meets Breaking Bad. Right? Yes, pretty much. That's pretty much what this is. So he chops it up, dumps it in. You hear shouting down, "Oi, where's the next course? We want more meat. More meat, more meat. That's what we would like to eat. Dwarven feet, elven feet. Oh!" Then they sort of clap each other, and then one of them says, "Dwarven hands, dwarven, it doesn't rhyme, you fool. Ah, shut up." And then they sort of talk with each other.
Is there any meat in here?
Yes, there's lots of actually dried meat in particular, like and so forth. You don't actually see like new fresh meat, but there's lots of dried meat in racks.
There's an orc over there.
Well, there is that.
Not going that far.
A great pacifist.
Dindi would probably throw up if he started butchering an orc.
Yeah.
Put that into.
How big is this stove you imagine him putting these into? Like
Iron Chef size?
Good size, but yeah.
All right, quick, hurry up.
And bring the thing down, and I'll start helping with another knife, just almost like making a gyro. Just start whittling off strips of meat, and then tossing them in. So he and I are working in concert.
Okay.
Cooking this thing up.
As they're doing so,
yes.
Let me know the point at which, if anything needs to be rolled with this endeavor, I want to be able to assist on.
Yep.
Encouraging.
So no, not so far with this, because this is fairly straightforward. However, if someone is going to take the food in, disguised or whatever, that person is probably going to need, a bit of an assist to get past hundreds of, drunk but whatever goblins.
All right. So River, while this is going on, while the stuff is being prepared, River goes to Inga, says, "So Inga, how confident do you feel about your ability to portray a slavering, terrible, disgusting goblin?"
Do you want an honest answer or a comforting answer?
I want an honest answer.
Not especially, no, but
River.
we might do.
Yeah, River takes both hands and puts them on Inga's shoulders and looks her in the eyes and says, I completely believe in your ability to do this and to protect this small hobbit with your courage and strength. And even though I know that this is a deception which you are doing, I nevertheless believe that your valor in this instance will carry through. And it's a very heavy-handed way of saying she gifts you with a D6 to use when you need it.
Yep.
So Inge is like just staring up at her.
Yeah, I love that
like,
your sweater is your scarf is up or whatever, so it just looks like you were like actually in an orc costume. Like, yes, you know.
She's just like basically saying, okay, thank you.
Tawny,
Like kind of. It just like mildly. What's the word? Flustered. That's the word.
at that point, Tawny grabs a piece of carrot and throws it at Inga and says, "Respond like an orc."
Sounding like Schwarzenegger. Wow.
Wow. River grins and goes, yes, just like
I'll be back.
Outstanding.
excellent. And she claps.
I
Inga on the
cannot
shoulder.
do an Austrian accent for. No, I cannot.
Where's the damn meat? You hear again. Bring out the meat. Bring out the meat. Bring out the meat because we want to eat. Yeah, good rhyme. It's a good story. Worked on that for a long time. So yeah,
Do
you know.
not get
Right.
this on your skin. Do
River
not
looks
get
like
this on
physically
your skin.
pained. Yeah.
I am wearing gloves. No worries. So I grab the pot, go towards the tunnel, and turn back around again with like a super worried expression, like, "All right then," and go forth.
Okay. All right. So, Inga, we will jump to you for a minute. So, you can proceed down to here where these guys are. And they are actually not there at the moment. They seem to not be... You don't know where they are exactly. But you see the... Once you get here... and actually, so you've got them... Now, you're going to have the pot basically can be carried with one hand. But you're going to have, because there are no, in this passageway, it's actually dim light. Well, actually, you won't have to worry about this. I take that back. You don't have to worry about it because you can actually see in the dark. So never mind what I was about to say. Because I was about to say that light is sort of at a premium, but you don't have to worry about that. So never mind. So these guys are not here. I don't want to get rid of them entirely, but they are not on the map, basically. So at this point, the passageway extends off in this direction and up this direction, but the sound of the sort of yelling and cheering seems to be coming more from over here to the northeast.
Well, I go there then, I suppose.
Okay, so go ahead and keep following around as I bring you along.
Now none of us know where she is.
Oh no, I will die.
Which one is she again?
I am up his.
Wow. Okay.
Oh yeah, up his.
Shots fired. Okay, there are several steps that you see sort of extending downwards, and then as you get around here, and the noise is louder, you know, hobbits in the pot, and you know that they are not to be eaten before you're hungry, and stuff like that. So as you get down to here, to here, go ahead and position yourself over there, Inga. You suddenly see where all the sound is coming from. Literally, it's almost like if you've had the experience of coming out of, it's reminding me because of Amal's room behind her with the books. So imagine coming out of a quiet library into a busy city street, and books have this sort of effect of dampening sound. So it's, whoosh, and then you come outside. That's what it sounds like. And you see this huge hall. There are hundreds of goblins here. Some of them lying on the tables, some of them kind of on the benches, some of them are maybe dancing with each other, if you can call whatever they're doing dancing. Many of them are sort of there. You see one that look like they're sort of fighting each other with a bunch of them laughing behind. This room is very, very big, and there's lots of goblins in it. And as you were sort of looking out there, you see a couple of them, have not really noticed, but they're sort of, yammering at each other, and you keep hearing references to food, where's the meat, and so on. And then as there's sort of a moment, and then one catches sight of you, Inga, and is like, hey, there's the meat! And one of them points in this crater, hey! And all of the rest of you in the larder hear this roar go up from the room. So someone has made.
I cheer along.
Okay. So there's a, come on, bring it along.
Yeah, I go where they're pointing me.
Okay. So you enter, and they seem to be pointing you over here to the middle of the room right here. So as you get there, now they sort of are pointing at the table, first of all.
Where?
Sorry, where you just were. this table right there. So they're pointing at that.
I stand on the table. No.
Okay. And then at this side, so these ones, now one of the things you notice as you get closer is, I mentioned that they're all sort of on the tables and the benches. It's kind of disorderly, as you might expect. However, on the tables, you see napkins and wine glasses and fine silverware. And you can actually see that although they're lying on the benches, at closer sort of inspection, it's disorderly, but it's not a complete madhouse, because it looks as if they're sort of maybe trying to have what they would think of as a fancy meal. Like they're sort of all talking to each other.
Cute.
And on this side over here is one large goblin, very large. And he stands up as you place the meat down. He says, Friends! And you can see he's wobbling a little bit. And immediately everyone sort of quiets. It is with great thanks that I welcome you to this and loud belch, and they all sort of laugh and chuckle. Hall! And they all sort of clap, like this is a very big deal, and they're right. And he says, before the event to come here, we must have food. And that's why we're here. Because I'm the chief and food is here. And he sort of points Matt. You could tell that he's really working to get through the speech. And Inga, as you look over, you notice that he might be looking at like a piece of paper, like maybe these are being read from notes. It's not really clear, but he's sort of, so he's like, this is the fine stuff that the people of the up there, the elves use. And there's a hiss, and someone next to you, Inga, claps you on the shoulder, boo, like, wants you to boo. We know that the elves and the damn dwarves, and they're all like, bearded pieces of garbage, beard. They hear a lot of beard. And the men, human beings, screwed up. And those big ones that change into bears. And the one's like, I saw that. I heard about the 5 armies. And they're something like that. We know they want to destroy our way of life. Well, today, we took their way of life and brought it here. And he points down at the table. And again, there's this sort of cheering and clapping. And you guys in the larder, by the way, can just hear the cheer part. Obviously, you're not hearing any of the rest of it. And he says, and so I want to thank each and every one of you. And he points at all of them. He says, especially our cook. And there's a big laugh. I'm really thankful that our cook is here to help us before he helps our and he kind of stumbles, and then someone whispers, stomach! Yeah, the stomach. Because we're going to eat him. That's the joke. And they're all like, ha 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 ha. They're all, they laugh, and he says, so he points at you, Inga, you need to go get more from him, but wait! First, and he stumbles down from his throne and he walks over. So now he walks over to you, and now everyone in the hall is staring right at you and him.
Oh, God.
He's like, what's your name, little one? His breath reeks of alcohol. Just reeks.
So I'm trying to barely hold it together here, like trying not to puke. I'm Apis, your majesty. Sir, Chief, sir,
He says,
sir.
Uppers. And then he sort of thinks about it. Uppers. And someone says, Uppers?
No,
He's
no,
like,
no.
And he's like, and he sort of says, no, Uppers was lost. And there's sort of a moment of silence. Everyone gets quiet. And he's like, good old Uppers. I remember the time once he punched me in the face. That was a good day. And they all sort of like, you can see the people kind of holding each other. Some of them are weeping drunkenly into each other's shoulders. And he says, well, Uppers. And he says, I hope you and Uppers were not too close because that would be sad because now he's dead. And he sort of weeps into your shoulder. And
I clap him on the shoulder like, there.
he says, we would appreciate it if you would give us a toast. And everyone says, yeah, toast. And they all stare at you. He says, give us a toast, Uppers.
Well, first of all, I put down the pot and then I grab the next best glass of wine and go.
There are like 4 that are pushed in your face that you could choose from.
I grab all of them. No, I grab 2 of them, like
Okay.
one in each hand.
Okay.
Put like one leg on, 1 foot on one of the benches, and go. I have not known Uppers for long, but I know he was a mighty fine warrior and killed many.
Clap, clap.
Instead of being sad about his death, we should be honoring him by killing many more in our future battles.
Yeah, and then
I
you hear a couple of
up
people
to-
confusedly, what's future mean? I don't know. It's something about, I don't know.
Hasn't happened yet.
Okay. Okay, and he says, and then she sort of looks at you expectantly, like the end of the toast.
2 Uppers!
And everyone's like, ah! And then there's like everyone on the table like lifts their wine, and then they all start singing, and all Uppers all together. And the orc chieftain is rocking you back and forth so much that you're literally like being rocked off your feet each time. So like, run and run. And you guys in the larder hear this song that, and you keep hearing, at one point you hear this loud Uppers, like you hear that word, sort of loudly, and then her, and everyone surrounds you. Inga claps you on the back, and then the chieftain looks at you and says, "That toast was the best toast that I ever saw or heard anyone give. You look weird, though. Make a deception check for me, please."
Maybe I should have gone.
A deception check, yes. I do not have deception, so...
Welp, that
charisma.
means charisma. The power of charisma compels
Still click the
you.
word deception.
I have no bonuses on charisma.
I am
But
actually
you
going.
also have 1d6?
You have 1d6. Yes, you do.
Well, what does that mean, though?
Sorry,
Do I get like one extra?
You
or
get
what?
an additional 1d6, is what that means.
Yes.
Oh,
Uh,
thank God.
I believe,
Yes,
right?
what
Is that
yeah,
right?
well, just read it from the... So you can roll the hit die and add the number rolled to one ability check, attack roll, or saving throw attempt.
I
okay.
should have
Oh.
used my inspiration.
So he looks at you. He's like, wow. He looks at you. He's like, "You
Wait.
look awfully sick for an. Are you? Wait. Do you have a beard?
What?
A
No, that's
beard.
just my scarf.
This has a. This
Scarf.
this
Oh,
one
Christ.
has a.
That's my goblin scarf.
There's a beard here. They all sort of gather around. A beard. And they're sort of looking at you. A beard. And they sort of are. He said, he says, what? Who? You said your name. Where do you? And he's like trying to think of what question to suspiciously ask you. And then he finally says, "Take off your helmet.
No!
Take,
God!
take it off now."
I cannot take off my helmet.
What?
You don't. I have this absolutely gross,
Pull the
like
next tail.
deformity in my face. You do not want to see it.
That means you're a good goblin. Let me see the face with the. pull the
No,
helmet
it's embarrassing.
with the
It's
thing.
stuck. Padula Knight's tail. It's stuck.
So you're like trying to
Liechtenstein.
you're trying to struggle around, and he says so he looks at you again. He says, "All right, give me one good reason why you can't take off your helmet besides you're ugly, because you should never say, no goblin should say they're ugly about themselves. That's negative self-talk we can't have." And everyone's like, negative? Oh, the chief uses big words all the time. Oh,
Every time he gets drunk, he gets like this.
Yeah. So, give me one reason why not taking off the helmet. He says. Everyone stares at you. Silence reigns.
Oh,
Shut it.
I know exactly what I would say, and it's just
Well, the thing is this: the cook, the small one,
Yeah?
the small cook. Yeah, he said that I am only allowed to remove my helmet after all of you tasted his amazing, delicious soup that only the bravest would dare to eat. That's how. What is the word? What is the word you use?
Spicy.
For
Delicious? That's a good
yeah,
one.
that
I learned
too,
that
but
last
like
week.
when it burns on the tongue, that's what it does. And
Oh. He says,
Yeah.
so he sort of looks at you. Okay. Now, you can make another deception check. Do you want to
God.
try to use inspiration for
yes,
this?
please.
Okay, so
God.
this would be a good moment for Terry to be inspired. Now, the way this works, guys.
No, I have inspired.
Oh, you have an inspiration. Oh,
Yeah,
well then
Killed by
now's the time to use
inspired
it then.
before
All right, let's see what you
I
get.
just completely forgot earlier to use that one.
Okay, unfortunately you don't have the 1d6 because you used it on the net one. But
Okay, another charisma check, right?
yes, that's another charisma check, yeah. Thank you for the follow, Mr. Rune.
Wow!
That's what I'm talking about. All right. So you say that he sort of looks at you for a minute, and he kind of increase his eyes widen, and he kind of looms over you, and he says, "Spoken like a real goblin." And he kind of stumbles over to the table, and he says, "All right, boys, looks like spicy meat's back on the menu." And he kind of, takes in everyone sort of like, and they now seem to have completely forgotten about you.
Okay, good. Yeah, no, I need to get the keys.
Oh yeah.
Okay, now about the key. So, the key is actually, you can actually see that the key is hanging from a loop on his belt. It's actually a pretty large key. He's not hiding it at all. And it is a loop on his belt. At the moment, he is, basically sticks his face into the pot and is eating it.
He has his face stuck in the pot.
Well, not permanently stuck. He's just, lapping it up
Isn't
like a
his
dog.
face melting off?
He's lapping it up like a dog. Doesn't seem to be yet.
Right. So I just step closer, in a very nonchalant way. Yes, that's what
Okay.
I do.
You nonchalantly move close. Okay.
Yeah, slowly,
step by step.
step by step. Yeah, while he's gobbling up. Is he still not dying from the soup?
Not yet.
Oh God.
He's not looking at you though. I mean, some of the
anybody
others.
else looking at me?
Well, mostly at the moment, there are hundreds of them, but they all seem to be focused at the moment on the food and.
Okay, so I try to look at his head, going whoa, how much can he eat of that?
Okay.
That kind of way, and then and have my other hand up, I do this magician thing where you do stuff with your one hand so people
Distraction, yeah.
don't look at your other hand.
Mm-hmm.
So, and with one hand I do gestures and stuff, and with the other I try to remove the key.
All right. Let's see whether or not
This
this
is gonna backfire horribly.
Let's see. This should be just fine. All right. What you're doing here is a sleight of hand. So you're going to be trying to make a sleight of hand here. And yeah, Javin, the thing is, though, this is not bardic inspiration. It seems like it mechanically, but it's not. This is actually a thing called the gift. It's a warden ability, so it's not quite the same.
So I can use the one extra 1d6 now if I want, right?
Well, so technically you needed to use the one. Actually, wait a minute.
Do you want me
wait.
to read that again?
Well, because the thing I want to look at is whether or not you have to use it on the next roll or whether it's a roll of their choice, and if you have to check it first. Because Bardic Inspiration, you roll first and then add, but I don't know if the gift works the same way.
I have it in front of me. It says the creature can wait until after it rolls a d20 before deciding to use
okay. All right, that's fine, because you actually must decide before the lore master says whether it succeeds or fails, but obviously a 1, you knew it was not going to succeed. So that's fine. So yes, you can then use that, yes. You may indeed use that now. All right. So let's see. We've got a 3, and then we've got the 2, and then we've got the D6.
Mm-hmm.
So what's that D6?
4.
Okay, so we've got a 9. So you actually pull. You like reach over. And you've got the key and the belt. It's sort of like just like a leather, like buttoned boot, basically, like buttoned, not boot. What was I saying? Buttoned strap. Sorry, I was looking at something else. Boot strap that is around a belt loop. That's what I was trying to say. And so you're like pulling, and then you think that you managed to have gotten it, and you sort of triumphantly open it. But then as you pull the thing out, you notice that it has another little strap that is internal that's connected to his belt. So you basically yank him backwards, like, "Hurt!"
Oh, God.
And you stagger back a couple of steps. And so for a moment, he turns around, sort of his face is, just like running with this food that he's been eating. All of the goblins are looking at him and then looking at you, and he's staring at you, and you've got the key in your hand as you're staring at him. And with that, I think we're going to bring this session to an end.
Why?
So we will bring this session to an end. This happens so often to Porteri.
Always. When I'm in like a very screwed up situation, we always end the session. Yeah, that's so.
Oh man! But you'll resolve it next week. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah, sure.
Great session, guys. Really a lot of fun. And you will have a chance to see whether you can escape with this key this way. And the rest of the party will have to decide what it wants to do as well. But great job, guys. We will be back in a week from now. But before we leave, we will say goodbye to everybody in reverse order. And so I will start with our newest player, Amal. It was a pleasure. I hope it was everything you hoped it would be. And thank you for joining us again. And tell the fine people who were not here where they can find your stuff on these here webs and elsewhere.
Sure. I'm on Twitter at Tithenai, which is TITHENAI. And I have a website that's just myname.com, amalalmuhtar.com. And what else? Stuff, things. I think that's about it.
Yeah, good stuff. I am excited to see how that character develops over time, but it's going to be fun. Thank you, Amal. Moving right up, we go to Porteri, who I was having a lot of fun watching you negotiate. That was deeply enjoyable.
I bet you did.
Yeah,
I bet you did.
It was good times. I love the thing with the scarf over your face too. It's just like, I can't because I'm ugly, and he's like, that's a goblin. But great stuff today, Terry. Where can the people find stuff about you?
Right. I'm on all of the social media like Tumblr, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. I'm also on Patreon, as Arv keeps reminding me that I should tell people that I do have a Patreon.
Yes.
Where you can get, for just $1 a month, you can get a look at like work in progress stuff and get to request drawings and stuff. Because only my Patreons get to request stuff from me. And other than that, I suppose we are on again next week here with more D&D.
Yes.
And other than that, which I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, that the other times we often do Choose Your Own Adventure book live streams, usually Fighting Fantasy. Currently, we are doing a Lone Wolf book, which name escapes me right now.
Flight from the Dark.
Flight from the Dark, that's the one, which is some good old fantasy with wizards and stuff and monks, kung fu monks, and which is a lot of fun. And where you guys can come and watch and get to decide what we do in the book, and I draw the stuff that happens. That's what we do.
Yeah, and Terry does it really well. Also, Terry is responsible for the token art for the characters, and she will be doing Amal's also. So you will see the river real. And I guess also, if she asks nicely, if she wants to do the stone, the dog as well.
Yes,
Well, of course. Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes, of course.
So
I
you have
need
to
to
do
do
that.
one for my pony then as well, I suppose.
Just more and more. There'd just be a whole like horde of tokens, but this should be good times. Good work today. A lot of fun, Terry. Nice work, and I look forward to seeing how you get out of this not at all dangerous predicament next week.
Yeah, I will have nightmares over this.
Moving right along. Will, great stuff today as always. Robar had a little bit of a almost rough fall, but he survived in the end. So where will the fine people see you next, sir?
Yes, usually I'll be streaming later on today, but I'm not. My DM is moving house for tonight, but I'll be back on tomorrow, Wednesday, on my own channel, Encounter Roleplay. You can find me there. I'm a full-time D&D streamer, so you can see me pretty much every day streaming D&D. Got some good news during the course of this campaign, actually, that my show Learn by Play, which is on the D&D channel, the Wizard of the Coast channel, has been renewed for a second season. So I'm super excited about that, really, really happy. So you can find me there every Saturday streaming over on their channel. But thank you, Arv, as well for this game. I love this game, and man, it got good today. I mean, aside from me nearly falling over and the comedy of errors that is Inga trying to speak to me, I enjoyed every moment, and it's great to play with Amal as well. Now we've got a more cohesive team together, which I like.
Yes, I'm very excited to have the full team assembled. And I should say, by the way, that you will also see Will on our show Masters of the Dungeon, which is next week. It's actually a week from Friday, and that is our Dungeon Master Roundtable with Will Askren from Exploding Dice and Dave from the Digital DM, as we chat about all things DMing and Dungeons and Dragonsing. And so I imagine this moment will come up during that discussion at some point. So you guys should definitely check that out. That'll be on my channel. Will, thank you. Always a pleasure. You guys should be following Will as well. Last but certainly not least, of course, our good friend Trendane. Tren, where will the fine people see you next, sir?
Here.
Yes, doing what?
Yeah, here. I believe it's in our vocalist thing next.
Yes, it is our voice acting stream on Saturday. Yeah.
On Saturday, right? Yes, I have it on my calendar, but I don't have my calendar up right now. Aside from that, you can find me. I do a lot of narrations for the Escape Pod podcast, and
Yeah, he does.
Oh, that's awesome.
We just did one recently called "What Glistens Back." It was if you've ever wanted to be a gay astronaut falling to his death from orbit. That's a beautiful story. Anyway. It was a very odd story, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun to narrate. Anyway, I'm also narrating his novel, which I've got about 2 days worth of work to finish it, I think, and I should just finish it.
We're getting there.
Yeah, sure. Just give me a deadline. I work much better with deadlines.
Yeah, I know. Well,
No!
therein lies the tale. Anyway.
Okay. And then I'm also narrating the BattleTech and Shadowrun novels. I will come back to working on Embers of War here shortly. Aside from that, in 2 weeks, I believe on Thursdays, we will start up again with Blades in the Dark over on Not So Speedrun's Twitch channel. And if you want to kill me a bunch and you play Skyrim, go and download the Beyond Skyrim Bruma mod. It's free and it's bigger than the second DLC that Bethesda released for the game, and you get to kill me a whole bunch in that, and it's a lot of fun.
Good stuff. Yeah, this was really great. I really enjoyed this, and I should say I'm going to let these guys go, but we do have nominations for the Chat Chosen Game of the Month. So after I let them go, we're going to take that vote, and then I'm going to then I will close down the stream, and I'll be back over at GOG doing my own stream. But before I do that, I want to thank everyone, all the players. You guys were great. The chemistry is great. I love it, and assuming I can keep my son from destroying the room that he's just entered. That'll be great. So thank you guys so much. Hold on, son.
Thank you so much for the goblin songs. Those were excellent.
Oh yes,
They were
I
so
want more
much
of
fun.
those every week.
Oh, my pleasure, my pleasure. I actually really enjoy doing those. Here's son has just arrived, so you can actually see him in his place. There's the kid, Mini Arv. But yes, you guys were great. I really enjoyed it. So thank you to Trendane, thank you to Will, thank you to Terry Tunes, and thank you to Amal. Pleasure as always, and I will see you guys in this group 1 week from today on Tuesday. Thanks everyone. Chat, can we get some love for the players? Thank you, players. I will talk to you guys soon.
Take care.
bye bye. Thanks for having us.
Okay. So there we go. That will do that. But we are going to do our... Hold on one second. We are, however, going to do... Let me just exit this game quickly. We are going to do the Chat Chosen Game of the Month. So hold on a second. Let me put my son down. Wait a second. All right. Clea? Okay, there we go. Right, so let's do this quickly, guys. The way this works is every month, for those of you who are new, first of all, if you haven't followed, hold on a second, I got to close this. Sorry, my boy, but I really do have to finish. So please go this way.
Hi,
go, go, go,
come
go,
to
go.
Grandma. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. All right, cool. So every week, every month, I should say, chat chooses votes on a game for me to play. And the only thing I ask is that I have the right to veto anyone that I don't want to play, which normally will be like basically horror games or a game that I've already played or a game that I've seen and I'm not really interested in playing or something like that. But otherwise, I will try to do the best I can to, approve of whatever choice is given. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop up my little poll thing here, which we will do right over... Where's my polls thing? Where is my poll thing? Where are you? Show yourself. There we go. There it is. All right, and we are going to do that. So, ARV play month. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take nominations. I'm going to take nominations, guys. So what I would like is I would like for all of you, just one per person, please, no more than that. I'll take the first 6 games as nominations. So the first 6 games, you guys should tell me which games you would like me to try. So go ahead and play one. So Portal is 1. Elite Force 2. 11th Guest, I'm going to say no. I've played a little bit of 11th Guest. I wasn't crazy about that series. Not that it's a bad series, just not my bag. Not my thing. Sorry, Cookie. Okay, Elite. So I've got 2 so far. Portal, Elite Force 2. Other game choices. Dark Souls 1, vetoed. I've already played Dark Souls 1, unfortunately, Lily Bloom. I played as much as I'm ever going to play. I gave it the old college try, too. I played a good 30 hours of that game, probably. Portal is already nominated. Ghost. Already nominated it. So we need others. I've got Portal and Elite Force 2. And what we'll do is we'll take the top 3 nominations. Those will be the ones that will go into the official vote that we do. So what are the choices, guys? Now's the time to get in your vote possibilities. We have Portal. We have Elite Force 2. What else? Last Day of June. Which one is Last Day of June again? Can you remind me, Chaotix? What Last Day of June is? Yeah, last month's was Loom, and I actually ended up playing and like winning and playing that game. I liked Loom a lot, actually. Are you asking for a challenge? I have played Life is Strange. It's okay, but I already played it. I'm not sure that I'd want to go back to play it again. Life is Strange. It's okay. I'm not sure that it also works for something like this. Last Day of June game. Not a fan of the puzzle type games. I do like puzzle games. I do. If you think 11th Guest, let me put it this way, Cookie. If 11th Guest is more, what I hate beyond all things almost is I hate jump scares. I like spooky. I don't like freaky. I don't like gory. I don't like depressing. So if it's gory, depressing / jump scary, I don't want any part of it. But if 11th Guest is just kind of vaguely spooky, that's fine. And by the way, and I want it to be spooky to the lightest weight person of all time. Not spooky. It's like when people say, oh, this food isn't spicy, and then you find out that they were raised by like chefs who ran a hot pepper factory. Like, I'm talking about normal people. Oh, the 11th hour? Okay. You know what? Actually, Kooky, I even have an 11th hour shirt. Believe it or not. I wore it in a video, in a music video. So I will put in 11th hour. 11th hour, what else? Alan Wake, no. That I would not play, because I just, same deal. I know what that's about, and no, that's too freaky for my blood. Sorry, X5. Portal Elite Force 2, last day of June, 11th hour. Two more. Two more. Otherwise, I'll close this down and we'll just vote on these. Two more. Two more possibilities. Portal Elite Force 2, last day of June, 11th hour. Two others. Yeah, Alan Wake is jump scary. Yeah. I mean, I don't mind playing Binding of Isaac. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know for sure how well that's going to work for a single stream. But, I mean, that's fine. I don't mind playing that. Do not hate jump scares. Hate jump scares. Hate them. Not, oh, I hate it because I get scared. Ha ha ha. Hate them as in I'm like, we're not friends. Ever. That kind of thing. All right. Portal Elite Force 2, last day of June, 11th hour, Binding of Isaac. One more. Last one. Quern Undying Thoughts. I have that one. I'm only reason I'm going to say no now, Kooky, is because we have 11th hour that you nominated. Do you want to replace 11th hour with Quern? I have not played Never Alone. Fallout 4, I don't think so, Vincent. I don't think that works for this because I've played Fallout 3. Fallout 4 I don't think is going to work for a single stream. It's a kind of game that I think you have to play more of, so I think I'd veto that one. Never Alone, I don't even know what that is. So I'm not sure. Unless it's super depressing. I don't know what Never Alone is, though. But, Kooky, do you want to change 11th Hour with Quern, with Undying Thoughts? No, I know 11th Hour is very old, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, X5, yeah. Exactly. So do you want to replace it with Quern, or do you want to leave it? Fable 3 is fine. I was thinking about playing Fable as one of my overall games. I mean, again, is that the kind of thing that you can play? Not sure if it will stream well. Super Meat Boy is a no. That's just going to frustrate me. I've seen enough of that played. Oh, yeah, vaguely. Okay, replace it. All right, so what is it called? Quern Undying Thoughts? Okay. Now I don't get to wear my awesome shirt. I'll still wear it. Minesweeper. I don't think Minesweeper is going to have a lot of big appeal. Like 3D Minesweeper. Okay, Portal Elite Force 2, last day of June, Quern Undying Thoughts, Binding of Isaac. Anything else? Last call. I'm going to last call this. Yeah. Remind me, Kooky, if I don't wear it that day, please remind me and I'll get it because I do have it. I would probably get remastered, I guess, X5, only because I think Fable Anniversary is Fable Anniversary the remastered version, but it is Fable though, right? It is the Fable game. The Witness. Okay. Probably let's save the I'm going to do Fable at some point in the future probably, so let's save that. These are ones I wouldn't normally have chosen for myself. So, you have the 7th guest shirt? Nice. Okay, Portal Elite Force 2, last day of June, Quern Undying Thoughts, Binding of Isaac, The Witness. Okay, we will keep that in mind for the future. All right, let's open this poll. So now you guys can vote. Top 3 choices are going to end up in the final list, guys. Top 3 choices. So just do $vote space and then the number of the one that you'd like to vote for. Portal, Elite Force 2, Last Day of June, Quern Undying Thoughts, Binding of Isaac, or The Witness. Please choose which one you want. And then my wonderful mods, I hope, either Dragon Spear or Kilobyte, once we have the top 3, they will then put together a straw poll. and they're going to link it up to the command next game. And that means that when you type in !next game from this point forward, it'll have a link to that poll, and you'll be able to vote on this over the next week. We'll have the final vote on this will close next Tuesday, and then we will play this the Tuesday after that. Check out Portal. Portal is getting lots of love. Oh, man. Portal is getting that love. Yeah, I own Portal already. I've never played it, though. It is weird that I've never played that game. Odd. Portal, Elite Force 2, Last Day of June, Quarren, Binding of Isaac, and The Witness. Well, yeah, but we're going to put the top 3 because we need to have other people who will vote as well. So, let's see. So I need the top 3. So Portal is definitely going to be in there, but we need a top 3. So I need to have a couple of these need to have 2 votes. So if you want to change your vote, $ change vote space. Oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah, that's either way. X5 is fine. It's just a matter of then making sure that they link it to the next game command. So if you want to change your vote, you can do $ change vote space and then the one that you want to change it to. Right now, we've got Elite Force 2 with 2 votes. Elite Force 2 actually almost won last year. Portal 1 and 2, well, yeah, we'll see. We will see how good it is. So Portal 5, Elite Force 2 with 2. 3 other. We need one more vote to have. We need one more thing to get 2 votes. One more thing to get 2 votes, and then we'll have our top 3. One more vote to get the top 3. What's it going to be? What you going to do? It's a $ vote, Ghost. That's because this is not an Arcanist vote. This is Arvbot. Portal 2 multiplayer with Terry. I really like co-op games, actually. I really do like co-op games. So it's $ vote space the number Ghost. All right, last call, folks. I got to wrap up here because we got a top of the hour. No, Kookie, you just do $ change vote space 5. That's all you do. Just $ change vote space 5. Yeah, it's just $ change vote space and then the number. There you go. Cool. Oh, really? Really, Extra Dead? Really? Really? Seriously? Okay, I need someone to change off that vote because I do need to get 3. I can't do 4, so I do need 3. So we need one more person we need one of those things to all right, cool. And then we just need to, because that's good. So we got Binding of Isaac is second. So I need someone to choose between Elite Force and Last Day of June. Elite Force and Last Day of June. We need someone to change their vote from one of those two. Change vote Elite. So change it to Elite Force or to Last Day of June. We need you to change the vote. Lovely. Close vote. Lovely. Portal, Elite Force 2, and Binding of Isaac. There you go. I was not going to take any chances. Okay, so that's the order, guys. If whoever's doing the straw poll, if it's X5 or whatever, what game should Arv play in November? It's Portal, Elite Force 2, and Binding of Isaac. Those are the 3. Portal, Elite Force 2, Binding of Isaac, and then if you could put the link up in chat, and then if one of the mods could link that to the next game command, that would be awesome. if you could do that. So Portal, Elite Force 2, and Binding of Isaac. There is the poll. Thank you very much, X5. Very kind of you. All right. Portal, Star Trek Elite Force 2, and Binding of Isaac. Lovely. That's the one that we're going to go. That is your approval. That's fine. That's great. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. So now, Kilobyte, can you change... Kilobyte, could you change it to... could you change the next game link to X5's link? Could you do that for me? This is a good one. I'm happy to play any of these. This is fine. I'm happy to play any of those three. All right. We're going to stop our bot, clear the votes, and put that away. Cool. Lovely, lovely. Okay. It's a command-edit space, and then I think it's exclamation point next game. I think you almost had it, Kill, but not quite. But that is going to do it for me, guys. I'm going to rise up on out of here. At the top of the hour, or just about a half hour, I'm going to be over at GOG, and I'm going to be playing episode 102 of Pen and Pixels. I will be playing Vaporum as I continue my playthrough of that, which is going to be good times. So I'm looking forward to that. But this was a lot of fun. I hope you like what you saw and heard, and will follow the stream. I hope you'll also check and support the stream by checking out the Steam group with exclamation point Steam group, YouTube with exclamation point ArvTube, exclamation point Discord to join the Discord. Of course, exclamation point Arvtreon. That's that Patreon sitting currently at $3.95. Just want to get that a little bit higher, up to $400, and then past it, because there are a lot of cool things that we can get as well. Thank you so much, Kilobyte. You are my hero. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then last but certainly not least, subbing to the channel. If you were to sub to the channel, which is that purple button right above, you can get the gold hypes, the Arvany hype. Lowercase Arvany, uppercase hype, uppercase H, lowercase YPE, means get hyped in gold. So you get that if you were a sub. If you sub at the $9.99 or $24.99 level, you get additional golden emotes as well. So thank you guys so much for the support. It's never a requirement, but is always appreciated, and it does make a difference in terms of what we can do in the game itself. But for now, I'm going to bid you all a fond adieu, and I will see all of you wonderful people over at GOG for Pen and Pixels. We will continue this campaign that you just watched next week as Inga tries to get herself out of a sticky situation. Very appropriate, too, because it's Thanksgiving in America, and she's trying to get her way out of a feast. So we'll see how that works. But thanks, everyone. Love you all. Best viewers on Twitch, and I'll catch you over at GOG hopefully in about a half hour. Until then, everyone be good to each other. Have a good day.